Okay. Which way am I going?
There you go.
Ugh.
Scoot this way a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Dang it. Hang on, fix that. Get your arm.
For tonight's OAC men's basketball matchup between University Fighting Muskies and the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders, presented by Orbit Media Sports. Joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott and down on the sideline by Andrew Dunlap, I'm Chris Morgan, bringing you tonight's matchup live on the Orbit Media Sports Network. And Joe, when you look at this matchup here tonight, a very key OAC game for both of these teams, fighting for positioning season tournament.
And a key game it is. They are fighting for 4th place right now in the OAC tournament. You get those top 4 teams, you get home court advantage in the OAC tournament. So big game with big implications tonight, like for the Purple Raiders and the Fighting Muskies. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be high pace. It's going to be an exciting game. There's going to be a lot of good things happening. The crowd is filling in, so I'm excited for.
I'm definitely excited right there with you, Joe. And for the Muskies offensively, you have to keep your eye on Jarrell Marsh, the second leading scorer in the Ohio Athletic Conference.
Yeah, Jarrell Marsh, probably your best player on the team, your leading scorer, your leading, getting to the basket, getting buckets. You have to get him involved early, because if he starts struggling in the game, he gets into one of those, well, you have to get Jarrell Marsh involved early, and you got to get the big guy involved in Joshua Keys. He is your go-to guy in the post, averaging a double-double. He's your all-around guy, getting rebounds, blocking shots. So you got to get those 2 guys involved if you're going to have success tonight against these Purple Raiders.
And with these Purple Raiders, they feature 2 high-powered scorers of their own. The top 5 leading scorers in the OAC, up there with the likes of Jarrell Marsh, in DeAllen Jackson and J.J. Kokura.
Yep, DeAllen Jackson averaging 18.4 points per game. J.J. Kokura 17.7 points, and DeAllen Jackson is 3rd in the OAC in 3-point percentage. So he is a sniper from downtown. So you have to key on him, because if he gets open looks, both these guys get open looks, going to make you pay. So you got to, be careful with the ball, no turnovers, because you turn the ball over in this game, those 2 guys, two of the best guys in the OAC, will make you pay.
They definitely will. And with all of these high talented players in this game, we might end up seeing a little bit of a sleeper pick coming in huge for both teams. So who's your guy to really look out for the Muskies?
I think for Muskies, you got to look out for senior Ricky Wilson. He's got a couple of games left in his Muskingum career. Senior day is on Saturday, so you're probably thinking a lot of emotions are running through his head right now from his Muskingum career. So I look for Ricky Wilson to maybe be your sleeper, because you get, he's averaging 10 points a game. He's a good ball player. You get him involved, he's a scrapper. He's one of your energy guys. So I look for him to be a sleeper for them. And for the Purple Raiders, I'd probably look out for Miles Griffin, averaging 6 points and 4 rebounds per game. Yeah, if you have a sleeper, I'd probably go with Miles Griffin, 6'4" junior from Massillon, Ohio. You got to look out for the big guys, big guard, so he's probably going to make some tough defensive matchups as well for the Muskies.
And before we go to break, we would like to pass along some congratulations to a former Muskie in Josh Boyer, one of the many coaches for the New England Patriots, the recent Super Bowl champions as of on Sunday, the defensive backs coach for New England. His second ring as a head coach in the NFL. What an amazing accomplishment for a Muskie coming from this area.
Yep, you made us proud. Josh Boyer representing the Fighting Muskies and the Muskingum University football team, as I am a member of the football team. So you're making us all proud, and we congratulate you on your victory and on your Super Bowl success.
And with that, let's go ahead and send it back for a short break. But when we come back, we'll have your final keys to victory. It's Muskie here on Orbit Media Sports.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
Back inside the ANC Steel Center on the campus of Muskingum University for tonight's OAC men's basketball between the Muskingum University Fighting Muskies and the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders. Let's go now live to our sideline reporter, Andrew Dunlap, who is on the court with head coach for the Fighting Muskies, Andrew Schwab.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Now, Coach, the team had a tough time defending the ball last Saturday against Ohio Northern. What was the plan to work on defense?
Doesn't get any easier. Mountain Union's got a really good team, but we just got to bear down and really trust in our ability, but also trust in our teammates that we have the help behind us.
And speaking of tough defense, what is the plan to slow down the two leading scorers for Mount Union, J.J. Kakura and Dayalon Jackson?
Kakura will be pretty easy. He's hurt. Jackson, on the other hand, is a great player that we are going to have to it's going to have to be a team effort. We're going to really have to focus. But they got a nice team. We got our hands full tonight, but I know we can get it done with great effort.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Andrew. And with that, we'll go ahead and send it right back for another break. But when we come back, we'll have victory before the opening tip-off of tonight's OAC men's basketball action. Men's Muskie basketball here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Welcome back inside the ANC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University for tonight's OAC men's basketball matchup between the Fighting Muskies and the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders, presented by Orbit Media Sports. Once again, joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott and down on the sideline by Andrew Dunlap. I'm Chris Morgan, bringing you tonight's matchup live on the Orbit Media Sports Network. Before we get to the opening tip-off, it's time for Radio Joe's Keys to Victory.
All right, keys to victory for the Fighting Muskies. Share the ball. You're averaging 12 assists per game. You need to get each other involved. Cut down on the turnovers. You're averaging 13 turnovers. You can't have too many turnovers in this game or Mount Union will make you pay. And big-time players step up in big games. Who's going to step up tonight for the Muskies and for Mount Union? Get off to a fast start. They didn't last time these past two teams played. They have to get off to a fast start. And also, the final one, get your playmaker involved, Dayalon Jackson.
And on the other side for the Purple Raiders, like you said, Dayalon Jackson, the big-time scorer, We just learned before the break, JJ Kakura out tonight for the Purple Raiders. The fourth leading scorer in the OAC will not be a factor in tonight's game. So that's going to make things a little bit easier on the defensive end for the Fighting Muskies as they try to reclaim the fourth spot in the Ohio Athletic Conference. With that, we will send it back to the studio for another quick break. And when we come back, we'll have your opening tip-off here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe in making your day.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full service? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Basketball here on the radio voice of Muskingum University, MCO 90.7, as well as Orbit TV, YouTube, live stream, and on New Concord Cable Channel 9, all part of the Orbit Media Sports Network. I'm Chris Morgan up in the broadcast booth, joined by Joe Scott, and down on the sideline by Andrew Dunlap for tonight's OAC men's basketball matchup between the Fighting Muskies and the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders. Let's quickly go over the starting lineups for each team tonight. For the Fighting Muskies, no notable changes for tonight's game, as we will see Jalen Page, Marcus Dempsey, Jarrell Marsh, Ricky Wilson, and Joshua Keys, the five main starters for this Muskie team the entire season long. On the for Mount Union, we will see that change, as we've already stated. Fourth leading scorer in the OAC and the second leading scorer for Mount Union, JJ Kakura, ruled out of tonight's matchup, so that will leave the only leading scorer, DeAllen Jackson, for Mount Union to try to be the main guy to take down this Muskie squad tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's a tough loss for the Mount Union Purple Raiders, losing your best players, and now leaving DeAllen Jackson, your lone leading scorer for this team, your go-to guy. We'll see if he can handle the load tonight for these Mount Union Purple Raiders. So the Muskies' job just got a little easier. Now they just got to stop the big-time play of DeAllen Jackson tonight.
And it looks like we will see number 5, Andrew Francisoni, coming in to replace JJ Kakura tonight. Francisoni, one of the big-time bench contributors for this Purple Raider team. We'll have to see how he meshes with this squad coming in replace of the big-time guy Kakura.
Yeah, 6'5", sophomore guard, so he's got some height, so he's going to probably create some more defensive problems for the Muskies, as he's a big body. So we'll see. He may have a big game tonight, so he's a player to watch tonight in this game, replacing JJ Kakura.
He definitely is going to be a player to watch. Only averages about 7.5 points per game, but gets about 25 minutes per game on any given night. So he's definitely got that experience of playing deep into ball games, but He hasn't been a starter for this team, so we'll have to see how he adjusts to being in that starting rotation with Kakura being out. Once again, if you're just joining us, tonight's broadcast is being put on live on the Orbit Media Sports Network. That includes the radio voice of Muskingum University, WMCO, along with TV coverage provided by Orbit TV Channel 9 on the Orbit Media TV YouTube live stream and on New Concord Cable Channel 9. We'll see Josh Keys against Thomas Mason for the opening tip-off of tonight's game. The tip is up, and it will be won by the Muskies. Jalen Page going from right to left, bringing the ball into the front court, now to the right wing. Page keeping the ball over in the right wing, goes to the right elbow to Keys. Keys, right elbow, he still has the ball, dribbling into the paint, looking for an outlet pass, has to go up in time as we will see the 3-second violation go against Joshua Keys, and that'll be a turnover on the game's first possession, going back over to Mount Union. Mount Union having the ball being brought up by Nathan Bauer Malone. He'll run the point guard tonight. He goes over to the left wing and now back to the right wing to Thomas Mason. And he drills that one for the first point of the ball game. 3-0 early on here in the first half for the Mount Union Purple Raiders. Ricky Wilson with the ball on the right elbow, hands it off to Marcus Dempsey. Dempsey goes back outside to the right wing to Wilson. Wilson spots up from the low block. No good. Rebound goes over to the Purple Raiders. Bringing the ball up is Francisoni. He'll run the point on this possession. Now he'll go over to Francisoni on the right wing. Now back over to Friga. Friga goes over to DeAllen Jackson. Jackson in the left wing, spots up for a step back three, off the rim, and no good. Rebound goes to Jarrell Marsh for the Muskies. Marsh bringing the ball into the front court. He's got it in the left wing. Going down low to Josh Keys. Keys gets it, trying to find an opening. Tries to go outside to Ricky Wilson. Has the ball taken away by Jackson. Jackson going the other way in transition. Blocked by Keys, and he will keep it inbounds. No, the officials will say his foot was still out of bounds when he picked up the ball. So the ball will stay with the Purple Raiders, and they will inbound from the baseline up 3-0 with 18:37 remaining in the first half.
Great defensive effort by Joshua Keys to get that block, preventing an easy basket.
Purple Raiders into DeAllen Jackson. Jackson's got it in the right wing, now swinging it back around the perimeter to Francisa. Now he spots up for a long three off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Marcus Dempsey. Dempsey brings the ball up for the Muskies into the front court. He's got it left wing. Now driving into the lane, kicks it out to Jalen Page on the right wing. Back over to Dempsey, right corner. Dempsey trying to find an opening. Marsh left wing, looking for an opening. Gets it into the paint, now picks up his dribble, loses it momentarily, gets it back, goes back over to Dempsey on the right wing, 7 seconds to go on the shot clock. Dempsey sizing up his man, spots up for a long three, off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound being tipped around in the air and picked up by Devontae Friga.
Too much standing around by the Muskies right there. They've been too much dribbling by Jerome Marsh. You have to try to get each other involved.
Friga with the ball for the Purple Raiders, sends it out to Mason on the right wing. Mason gives it to Jackson. Jackson left wing, sends it back over for Bauer Malone. Bauer Malone back over to Francisa, over in the left wing, now back to Jackson. Jackson drives baseline, tries to dish it out, and there is a charge on the floor, assessed against Allen Jackson. That'll be his first personal foul for the Purple Raiders, and the turnover goes back over to the Muskies, and they will get a chance to get their first points of the contest, down 3-0 with 17:32 remaining in the first half.
Joshua Keys sacrificing his body to get that charge for the Muskies. Great defensive play right there.
Marsh with the ball for the Fighting Muskies in the left wing, gets a double screen up top, now fighting through that, gets it to Ricky Wilson. Ricky Wilson back to Page and back for three, and a good one there from the left wing. Ties this one up at 3 points apiece. 17 minutes left to go in the first half.
There's that ball movement shown early by the Muskies, getting Ricky Wilson that easy three-point shot.
Bauer Malone with the ball in the left wing for the Purple Raiders. He'll go over to Francisoni. Francisoni goes back over to Friga in the right corner. But we will see a foul on the floor. That one will go against Marcus Dempsey, his first personal, team first for the Muskies. And the Purple Raiders will inbound from the baseline with a fresh shot clock. Bauer Malone will send it in for Mount Union. Bauer Malone gets it into Mason, now spots up after getting the ball right back, and that one's good from 20 feet. Gets the Purple Raiders back out by 2, 5-3 off of his first make of the night. Page brings the ball up for the Muskies into the front court, has it at the high right point, He's going to drive into the lane, gives it over to Ricky Wilson. Wilson for a long three. That one's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Francisoni. Francisoni running the other way in transition, has it taken away. Now the Muskies going back the other way in transition. Marsh with the emphatic slam on the other end. Ties this one back up at 5 points apiece. 16:27 remaining in the first half of action. To Allen Jackson now running the point for the Purple Raiders on this possession. He'll be guarded by Marsh on the play. Jackson has it left wing, spots up for a long three, and that one's good. Dempsey couldn't get his hand out in the face just in time. And the Purple Raiders take a 3-point lead once again, 8-5 with 16 minutes remaining in the first half. Josh Glass is getting set to check in for the Muskies as Ricky Wilson takes it into the right elbow. He hands it over to Josh Keys. Keys is going to try to drive baseline, spins back and gives it out to Dempsey. Dempsey with the ball up top, drives into the lane. He is fouled, puts up the shot, no good, but he will go to the free throw line for 2 shots after the foul in the air, and that will be his first free throw attempts coming on the night. The foul will be assessed to Devontae Friga, his first personal, team second for the Purple Raiders. First foul shot attempt by Dempsey is up and good. Gets the score back within 2 points. 8-6 with 15:50 remaining in the first half. Looks like Glass is going to come in for Dempsey after the shot. We do see a substitution, though, as Tommy Strenger is going to check in for his first minutes tonight for the Purple Raiders. And now Glass will check in as Dempsey goes over to the bench for the Fighting Muskies. Going back the other way now with a 1-point lead are the Purple Raiders, 8-7 with 15:45 remaining in the first half. Jackson has it up top. He gets a screen from Mason. Now spotting up from 22 feet, and that one's good. Only a 2-point make, though, as his foot was on the line. So that will make it a 3-point deficit once again, 10-7, 15 and a half minutes to go in the first half for the Fighting Muskies. Wilson gives it over to Glass over in the right wing. Glass drives into the lane, and that one will draw a foul on the play. That one's going to be apparently not in the act of shooting, assessed on the floor against Strenger, who just checked in. And now we'll see another sub come in as number 32, Bryce Matthew, will check in for the first time. Glass gets it off the inbound, and he makes the three from the right wing as the Muskies tie this game back up 10 points apiece. 15 minutes remaining in the first half.
Great out-of-bounds play by the Muskies. Get Josh Glass that open three, knocking it down.
Allen, the left wing. He's going to try to split the defense. Now tries to give it out, and now back over to Francisoni. He spots up for three, no good. Rebound goes over to the sideline, picked up by Jackson. Jackson for a step back three, off the rim, no good. This time rebound goes to Terrell Marsh for the Fighting Muskies. Marsh bringing the ball up the other way in transition. He's going to give it over to Ricky Wilson. Wilson driving into the lane, turnaround jumper, and that one's good from 10 feet. First lead of the night, 12-10, 14:40 remaining in the first half.
Smooth turnaround J by Ricky Wilson, getting the Muskies a 2-point lead.
Strenger with the ball for the Purple Raiders. He gives over to Francisoni on the right wing. Francisoni gives it over to Jackson. Jackson up top, goes over to Friga. Friga now driving into the lane. He gives it over to Matthew. Matthew back out to Friga. Friga for a long three. That Purple Raiders take the lead right back off of another 3-point make. 13-12 now with 14-10 remaining in the first half. Jalen Page brings it back up the floor for the Muskies into the front court. Ricky Wilson now into the lane, gives it over to Josh Keys. Keys with another jumper. That one's no good. His first miss of the night. And now back the other way is Francisoni. Francis for a heat check three, no good. Rebound goes over to Marsh for the Muskies. Marsh brings the ball up, gives it over to Page. Page over to Glass, and then back down low on the left block to Josh Keys, and he will convert the easy layup, and we'll see a timeout on the floor taken by the Purple Raiders. We'll stay right here for this one, as it's been a very frenetic first few minutes of the ball game here. So.
Yeah, Coach Schwab calling an early timeout. I believe he was calling a timeout because he wasn't happy with that defensive effort in the past few possessions, so hopefully the Muskies will get that figured out because they're giving these Purple Raiders open looks from the three-point line, and these Purple Raiders are making them pay, which I told them in the beginning that if you leave these guys open, they will make you pay from beyond the three-point line.
They definitely will, especially with a guy like Jackson, the third leading three-point percentage maker in the OAC, shoots about 48.5% from behind the line. You cannot let him get to his spot, and so far The Muskies have been letting him get there and letting him get those threes that he likes to do with the step back jumpers and the turnaround jumpers. You need to stay closer defensively to DeAllen Jackson if you're going to have any chance in this game here tonight. Coming the other way is Jackson for the Purple Raiders offensively. He goes over to Jeff Foreman. Foreman with the ball up top. Now into the lane, kicks it out to Francisoni. Francisoni for three from the right corner, and that one's good. Another open three for the Purple Raiders, and now we'll see them take a 2-point lead, 16-14, as Devon Pert brings the ball up for the Fighting Muskies. He'll fake the handoff over to Dempsey, looking for an outlet pass. Gives it over to Keys on the low right block. Now back out to Pert, right wing. Pert into the lane. Easy layup off the glass and good. Ties this game back up 16 points apiece with 13 minutes remaining in the first half. Jackson brings the ball up for the Purple Raiders. He'll go over to Foreman. Now over to Francisoni. Francisoni back to Foreman, right wing. Now back over to DeAllen Jackson. Now over to Matthew. Matthew goes off the rim and good. Nice little turnaround floater for Matthew as that one gets the Purple Raiders back out 18-16 off of his first make of the night. Devon Pert brings it back up for the Muskies into the front court. He'll go over to the right wing to Marcus Dempsey. Dempsey looking for an outlet, setting up the play. Goes over to Marsh, right wing. Back over to Dempsey. Dempsey goes back to Marsh, right wing. Now Marsh goes all the way across the floor to the left corner to Glass. Glass goes into the lane, gives it over to Keys. Now back to Pert. Pert going back over to Dempsey. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Back to Marsh. Marsh spots up for a long three, and that one's off the rim. No good. Rebound goes to Jackson, going back the other way for Mount Union. Purple Raiders lead 18-16 with 12 minutes remaining in this first half, as Jackson's going to try to go baseline. Shut down there by Marsh. Now he gets over on the second attempt, and he's going to blow right by Marsh the second time, as the Purple Raiders extend their lead out to 4 points, 20-16, just under 12 minutes to go in the first half of action. Devon Pert with the ball in the front court for the Muskies, looking to set up the play, gives it over to Jarrell Marsh, left wing. Marsh looking to get a screen, and he's got it poked away momentarily. Resetting the play, now going back to Dempsey. Back over to Marsh up top. Marsh goes back to Dempsey, left wing. Now down low to Pert. Pert tries to go with a floater, and that one's in off the rim. Muskies come back within two, 20-18. Trying to find the opening in the Purple Raider zone as they still find themselves leading, does Mount Union, with 11:20 half. Foreman goes over to DeAllen Jackson on the left wing. Jackson drives into the lane, goes off the glass, and that one rattles around the rim, and he finds a way to get that one to fall. Back out to a 4-point game, 22-18 in favor of the Purple Raiders. Devon Pert brings it back up for the Muskies, trying to break this 3-2 zone that the Purple Raiders are putting out there on defense. Pert goes back over to now back over to Glass. Glass kicks it back out to Marsh. Marsh left wing, spots up for a three, and that one's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Matthew on the other end for Mount Union. Jackson brings the ball up slowly for the Purple Raiders. He'll be guarded once again by Marsh. He'll give it over to Foreman at the high right point. He'll be guarded by Pert. Foreman drives in, gives it over to Jackson. Jackson's going to his left, no good. This time rebound goes to Keys for the Muskies. Muskies down 4 points, 22-18, as Marsh brings it up for the Fighting Muskies into the front court. Giving it over to Pert. Pert drives into the lane, kicks it back out to Marsh. Marsh trying to cut to the rim. He'll go down low looking for Keys, and that ball's taken away, picked up by Stringer on the play.
Muskies having trouble with this 2-3 zone shown by the Purple Raiders against some.
Stringer's going to go down low to Matthew on the left block. Matthew driving into the lane. He'll back down off of Josh Keys and get that one to go off the rim. Purple Raiders find themselves up by 6 points now, 24-18, with just under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Halfway home in the first half of action, as Marsh is going to bring the ball up for the Muskies. He gives it back and gets it right back from Dempsey. Dempsey with the pump fake in the over to Marsh. Marsh with the ball up top, 13 seconds on the shot clock. Marsh spots up from 9 feet, no good. Rebound is going to go to Keys. Keys with the ball down low, and he's going to be fouled on the floor. That one's going to go against Stringer, his second personal, team fourth. That will not be enough to send the Muskies to the free throw line just yet, but we will see a couple of subs come to the Muskies, as Jalen Page is going to come back in, as well as Rob Heisey for his first action tonight. Inbound goes to Ricky Wilson. He spots up for three, no good. Rebound goes to Glass. Glass has it taken away, and it will be picked up. A jump ball being called as Rob Heisey got to the ball. Possession arrow in favor of the Purple Raiders, so they will get the ball back. An empty possession there for the Muskies. Still down 6, 24-8, 3 remaining in the first half. Bauer Malone bringing the ball up for the Purple Raiders. No to Allen Jackson on the floor right now for Mount Union, as he will get a rest. He's going to be the big guy offensively for them, as Foreman's got it up top. He gives it over to Matthew. Matthew down into the lane, and that one's going to be blocked by Heisey. Rebound going back to Glass the other way. He's pushing it up. Now he'll go over to Jalen Page, left wing. Back over to Glass, and now swinging around the perimeter to Dempsey. Dempsey going to drive into the lane, goes off the glass, and good, and the foul. Marcus Dempsey with the strong move to complete the and one bucket, and he's going to try to get the Muskies back within 3 points with this three-point opportunity. Now trailing 24-20, pending the extra point opportunity, as Andrew Robinson's going to check in for his first action tonight. We'll also see another sub coming in for the Purple Raiders, as Cordell Phillips is going to check in. Excuse me, that's James Burney, the 6'4 sophomore from Warren JFK. Dempsey getting set from the free throw line, and that one's good as he completes the and one. Muskies back down within 3 points, 24-21 with 9 minutes remaining in the first half. Bauer Malone brings the ball up for the Purple Raiders. He's got it in the left wing. Has the ball go off of Rob Heisey, and it will be picked up in the backcourt by the Purple Raiders. Now going back the other way and getting it set up very quickly to Bauer Malone in the left wing. Malone spots up for a long three off the putback, and that one is good, as Heisey had to retreat going back on the pick and roll defense, and the Purple Raiders convert on the three-point attempt. Now 27-21. Ricky Wilson with the ball, left wing. He'll drive into the lane, goes with a turnaround jumper, no good. Kept it inbounds momentarily, but get it right back to Mount Union, and they go back the other way in transition. Matthew with the ball in the lane. He's going to go with the floating runner, and that one's good. Now Coach Schwab is going to take a timeout as the Muskies find themselves down by 8 points, 29-21. And while they take a timeout, we will take one right with them. We will be right back with more Fighting Muskie men's basketball action here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
NC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University, where the Fighting Muskie men's basketball team finds themselves down by 8 points, 29-21, with 8:24 remaining in the first half of action in tonight's OAC men's basketball matchup here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. Alan Page brings the ball into the front court for the Fighting Muskies. He'll give it over to Josh Keys on the right elbow. Keys driving into the lane, and he will be called for the travel after the hot step. And he will be giving the ball back over to Mount Union on the turnover. Purple Raiders take back over with an 8-point lead and 8:10 remaining on the first half clock. Once again, I'm Chris Morgan, joined up in the broadcast booth by on the sideline by Andrew Dunlap for tonight's OAC men's basketball matchup, as the Purple Raiders go back the other way offensively, giving it back over to Burney on the left corner. Now he'll go back all the way up top to the high point to Bauer Malone. Bauer Malone will take the ball down into the right wing. Now goes all the way back across, and that's going to be a three-point attempt put up by Tanner. First action here tonight. The John Glenn graduate getting into the game here early, and now back in transition are the Fighting Muskies, with Josh Keys converting on the transition layup as he gets the Muskies back within 6 points, 29-23. Slack gives it over into the other corner to Burney. Burney in the right wing now goes back over to Bauer Malone. Bauer Malone now into the left wing, trying to get past Robinson. He'll get there and step back jumper after breaking Robinson's ankles. Rebound goes off the rim and to Josh Keys for the Muskies, though. A missed opportunity there for Bauer Malone, and the Muskies will go back the other way. Page with the ball up top. He's going to drive into the lane, gives it over to Ricky Wilson, left corner. Wilson now going back up top and goes over to the right wing to Dempsey. Dempsey into the lane, spin back jumper, and that one's good, nothing but net. And the Muskies are back within 4 points, 29, 6:50 remaining in the first half.
Nice fadeaway jumper by Marcus Dempsey, showing off his offensive skills.
Back the other way now for the Purple Raiders is Devontae Friga. He gives it over to Bauer Malone. Now back over to Bernie in the left corner. Bernie goes back out to Slack, and that one's going to be taken away momentarily by the Muskies. Now back over to Dempsey. Dempsey with the ball in transition. Gets and one.
Great hustle by Marcus Dempsey to get that loose ball and convert on the and one opportunity.
A great effort by the freshman for the Purple Raiders, Tanner Slack, to try to keep Dempsey away from it. Couldn't quite get there in time as Jalen Page got involved as well. And now Dempsey's got a chance to bring the Muskies back within 1 point if he converts this and one opportunity. Sub coming back in for Mount Union is DeAllen Jackson. He'll come in as Slack goes back to the bench after seeing just about 30 seconds of action. Another sub coming back in, and now we'll see more coming in as well, as now I believe we're going to see Cordell Phillips checking into the game. And we will also see Andrew Francisoni checking in as well. Devon Pert came in for the Muskies during the timeout as well, as Dempsey converts the and one opportunity, gets the Muskies back within one off of his 10th point of the night. 29-28, 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. Bauer Malone gives it over to Jackson in the left corner. Now he'll take it to the left wing, trying to get past the defense of the Muskies on the play. Now going back the other way in transition once again is Dempsey. Dempsey with another transition layup, and he converts it, and we're going to see a timeout on the floor taken by Mount Union. What an amazing turn of events here in the first half, as this Fighting Muskie team, led mostly by Marcus Dempsey and his effort on the defensive end, has gotten themselves the lead back with just a little bit of time left in this first half.
Oh, you got to love seeing that from one of your star freshmen, showing the hustle again after loose balls and getting easy 2-point shots and one conversions. You like the effort right now shown after a couple timeouts taken by Coach Schwab, and Muskies are right back in it, up by 1 point.
And they're going to have to keep this effort up if they're going to continue to build on a bit of a lead going towards the halftime break. Still about 6 minutes remaining in the first half. So if you're the Muskies down in that huddle right now, what is Coach Schwab telling them as they continue on towards the end of the first half?
To keep up the pressure on defense, move the ball on offense. You know, there's a little too much standing around right now, too much dribbling and taking, you know, some pretty bad jump shots. So try to get easy shots, move the ball around, and back on defense. Watch out for the outside shooting. The Raiders are loving driving to the basket and kicking out to a wide open 3-point guy. So you got to fix those problems, and you just got to continue to play some great defense, because these Purple Raiders are getting open looks, and they have to figure that out.
Now the good thing for the Muskies offensively, they're getting out in transition. That is the type of game that they really, really love. And the fact that they're getting out there this game, that's a good sign for this team, because the more transition points they get on the fast break, the better, as they're going to be able to dictate the pace of the game that way. And if they can keep that up, they're going to become a problem for the Purple Raiders as this ball game progresses. As we come out of the timeout, the Muskies hold a 1-point lead, 30-29, 6 minutes left to go in the first half of action, as DeAllen Jackson is going to take the ball in the right wing, but now we'll see a foul being assessed off the ball. That one's going to go against Ricky Wilson for holding on the play. That'll be his first personal, team second for the Muskies. Already 6 team fouls for Mount Union, so the Muskies are in the bonus. Going back the other way now for Mount Union is Jackson. He gives it over to Francisoni. Now Francisoni goes over to the left wing, Bauer Malone. Bauer Malone goes back out to Jackson. Jackson driving and has the ball taken away, and it will stay with the Purple Raiders. Officials say it was last touched by a Muskie player. The student section doesn't quite agree, and I can tell you don't either on that one.
I do not. I think Alan May just lost it there, but refs saw it differently.
So we'll see Bauer Malone inbound for the Purple Raiders. Gets it in, and way up there as Josh Keys lost Francisoni on the defensive end, and that will be the Purple Raiders retaking the lead off of that one. 31-30 with 5.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Pert will inbound for the Muskies, and he will bring the ball up after getting it back from Jarrell Marsh. Pert brings it into the front court, starting the shot clock. Now he'll go back over, looking to get it back, to go all the way over the top of Francisoni to get it there. Now a screen coming from Keys. Marsh getting down low, pops up from the free throw line, and that one's good. Muskies retake the lead 32-31 off of Jarrell Marsh's second make of the night. 5:15 remaining in the first half of action as the Muskies lead by 1, 32-31. Back the other way is to Alan Jackson. He'll give it back over, and now holding. Now he'll go back over to Jackson. Jackson with the ball up top. Looks like he's going to set up, and he's going to try to break past Josh Keys. Keys is going to contest the shot, goes off the glass. Rebound, though, by Francisoni. And that one's going to be an easy putback layup for the Purple Raiders as they retake the lead 33-32. 4:45 remaining in the first half of action as Dempsey's got it. Dempsey in the right wing, trying to drive into the lane, goes off the glass, no good. That one's going to be rebounded by Jackson for the Purple Raiders. He brings the ball up in transition, running back the other way. Going to get a screen, and he will go all the way back over. Bauer Malone spots up for three from the right wing, and that one's good. Another open shooter for the Purple Raiders as they claim a 4-point lead once again, 36-32.
More defensive miscommunication by the Muskies, and the Mount Union Purple Raiders were able to convert on that open three-point shot.
Going back the other way are the Muskies as Pert has it in the left wing, looking to go down low to the left elbow to Keys. Keys looking for an outlet, tries to go down low to Wilson. Ball is tipped away by the Purple Raiders, though. It will stay with the Muskies as they will inbound from the baseline with 11 seconds on the shot clock. A substitution coming in for the Purple Raiders as I believe we're going to see Foreman coming back in as Bauer Malone will go back to the bench. No subs for the Muskies as Pert will inbound. Pert looking for an inbound, gets it into Keys. Goes right back to Pert. Pert with the ball in the right corner, drives into the lane, goes off the glass, and that one's good. An acrobatic layup once again for the big-time leaper for the Muskies. Devon Pert gets them back within two, 36-34 with 3:45 remaining in the first half. Purple Raiders now with the ball on the other end, gives it back over to Friga. Friga's got it in the left wing, trying to drive through the defenders, gives it over to Francisoni. Francisoni for a long three, that one's off the rim, no good. Put right back in and still being tipped around and eventually put back in on the third opportunity by Friga as the lead is back out to 4 points for the Purple Raiders, 38-34. 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half as Pert brings it up for the Muskies. He'll go all the way over to the right wing to Marsh, and now back to Pert on the left wing after going through Marcus Dempsey. Pert with the ball now, left wing, goes back up top to Dempsey, swinging around the perimeter to Marsh. Marsh, right wing, goes back to Dempsey up top. Dempsey looks like he's going to size up his man, goes with the pump fake, and with the floater, and that one's good. An amazing first half offensively from Marcus Dempsey, now with 14 points to lead all scorers, and he brings the Muskies back within 2 points, 38-36, just under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Jackson with the ball right wing for the Purple Raiders. He gives it over to Friga. Friga down low and now back over. Now spotting up is Francisoni from the left corner. No good. Rebounded by Jackson, and he'll go all the way back out to the right wing. Jackson now driving baseline, sends it back out to Friga. Friga has the ball taken away momentarily, and we're going to see a foul on the floor on Devon Pert. That one's going to be for reaching in. That will be his first personal, team third, and we will see Josh Glass and Marcus and Jalen Page, check back in for the Muskies as Pert and Ricky Wilson go back to the bench. Francisoni inbounds it to Friga, and he eventually gives it back over to Allen Jackson. Fresh shot clock for the Purple Raiders with 2:26 remaining on the game clock in the first half. Purple Raiders up by 2, 38-36. Muskies shifting into a 3-2 zone as Francisoni has it over on the left wing. Now he'll go back over to Foreman. Foreman down low, goes off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Marcus Dempsey. And now we're going to see a jump ball being called after Dempsey was stumbling around with the ball. Possession arrow in favor of the Muskies, however, as they will keep it only down 2 points now with 2:08 remaining in the half. Page is going to bring the ball up for the Muskies after he lets it roll to try to conserve. Bringing it up into the front court, he'll go over to Marsh right wing. Marsh goes all the way back up top to Dempsey. Now going back to Page. Page left wing, goes left corner to Glass. Back over to Page, now swinging back around the perimeter. Dempsey has it, now gives it right wing to Marsh. Marsh looking for an outlet, 11 seconds on the shot clock, gives it left wing to Dempsey. Dempsey looking for a pass, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Back to Dempsey, who spots up for... That one's good! Marcus Dempsey has the hot hand for the Muskies tonight. 17 points in the first half as the Muskies reclaim the lead 39-38 with 1:30 remaining in the first half. Purple Raiders swinging it around the perimeter as the Muskies jump back into a 2-3 zone. Marsh trying to get physical on the defensive end. Foreman spots up for three, and that one's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to end after being tipped around by Marsh. Minute 16 remaining in the first half, and the Muskies are going to try to build on this lead. Marsh with the ball right wing, trying to find an outlet, gives it over to Page. Page, high left point, goes over to Dempsey. Dempsey now back to Page in the left wing. Now back to Dempsey, swinging around to Marsh right wing. Marsh goes all the way across back to Jalen Page. Page into the lane, goes back to Marsh. Marsh spots up for three from the right. No good. Rebound goes to Matthew, going the other way for Mount Union. 50 seconds remaining in the first half as Mount Union will take this one a little bit slower, maybe try to go 2 for 1 on this opportunity. Friga has it over in the high left point, going to be guarded by Jalen Page. Back over to Foreman in the right corner for three, and that one's good. Mount Union reclaims the lead, 41-30. 30 seconds remaining in the first half. The shot clock has been turned off, so the Muskies will hold for the final shot here going into the halftime break. Muskies down by 2 points, 41-39 as we approach halftime. Jalen Page slowly setting up the play for the Muskies, getting instruction from Coach Schwab over on the Muskie bench. Now sets up the play with 10 seconds left to go, gets a screen from Keys. Over to Dempsey. Dempsey driving into the lane, goes to the turnaround floater, and eventually gives it back over to Marsh. 1 second as Marsh spots up, and that one's off the rim, no good. And the Muskies will go into the halftime break down by 2 points, 41-39. A hard-fought first half for both teams as they battle it out with each other, looking to reclaim the 4th seed in the OAC postseason going into halftime. And with that, we will go ahead and send it back to a break and send it back to the studio. We will be right back with your halftime report here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. Muskies down 2 at the break, 41-39.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University, where the Fighting Muskie men's basketball team finds themselves down 2 points at the halftime break, 41-39 against the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders in a big-time OAC battle. Both teams battling it out for 4th place in the Ohio Athletic Conference going into the stretch run of the season. Joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott, I'm Chris Morgan, bringing you your halftime report. And Joe, when you look at this first half, things were really back and forth the entire time, with no team being able to really secure the big-time possession going into the halftime break.
It really was a back-and-forth first half. I mean, the Purple Raiders were off to a strong first couple minutes, first 10 minutes, and then the Muskies finally got into a groove, and they started hot and got into their own groove, and then those last 5 minutes were back and forth, both teams hitting some key shots. But the Muskies are down by 2. They're in a good spot right now after being down a little early, but like we saw earlier, Coach Schwab wasn't too happy going into halftime, so of course there are some adjustments that
definitely some big-time adjustments for this team, and I think one of those things is going to be defensively. They've kind of let D'Allen Jackson kind of dictate the pace of play so far. He's only got 9 points in the contest so far, but when you look at what he's been able to do, he's been able to move around without the ball and get things going for this Purple Raider offense on the other end. So if the Muskies are going and get the ball in their hands, they need to get it away from DeAllen Jackson and force it to the secondary players for this team.
Yeah, like DeAllen Jackson, he's a good shooter. I mean, he does these crazy shots, lots of step backs, fadeaway Jays. I mean, if he makes them, congrats to him. He's a great offensive player. If you have great defense, that's going to happen. But they have to, keep an eye on him open a couple of times for some wide open jump shots. So they have to do a lot better, keen on him in this second half and just having great defensive pressure throughout the rest of this game.
And, of course, when you do look back at who stood out for the Muskies, it's been a huge first half for the freshman Marcus Dempsey, putting up some big-time points on the night, 17 already. All scorers going into the halftime break. He's had a lot of success coming into this ball game. He's 6 for 8 from the field, 4 for 4 from the charity stripe, 1 for 2 from 3, and he's been really effective on the offensive end, getting open for some big-time shots.
Yes, he is. I mean, 17 points. He's your offensive threat right now for the Fighting Muskies. I mean, he's doing a lot. He's driving in the lane and, getting and one opportunities for, some more points. And also what you've been seeing is his defensive pressure. He's getting to loose balls, playing great defense, and now converting on easy breakaway layups. So he's had a solid first half right now. Hopefully he'll be able to continue that into the second half, because this is going to be a very important second half for this team.
And with that, we will send it back for another short break. But when we come back, we'll take a closer look at what the Muskies need to do to have success in the second half, as they are down 41-39 at the halftime break.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No. But this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
The ANC Steel Center on the campus of Muskingum University for tonight's OAC men's basketball matchup between the Fighting Muskies and the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders, presented live by Orbit Media Sports. Once again, I'm Chris Morgan, joined by Joe Scott up in the broadcast booth. Muskies trail by 2 points at the halftime break, 41-39. And Joe, we've already talked about how fast-paced this first half has been and how it's been back and forth for both teams. Both of them shooting extremely well throughout the first half. Muskies shooting 57% from the field at the halftime break. The key for them, though, is only 30% from beyond the three-point line. 3 for 10 right now from outside the arc. That's been the big difference for them so far. When you look at the Purple Raiders, they're shooting 53% overall from the field, 41% from the three-point line. We have seen a lot of threes so far by both teams. The Purple Raiders have attempted 17 already. The Muskies, like we said, have attempted 10. So what do you think is going to be the key in the second half for the Muskies to really slow down this Mount Union offense?
I mean, they just have to play better perimeter defense. I mean, these guys are getting open looks around the three-point line, especially from Jackson, who's one of the best three-point shooters in the OAC. So you got to slow him down and slow down a lot of these shooters for the Purple Raiders. I mean, it's not just him. There are so many other great shooters. I'm getting some open and easy looks from defensive communications. So you have to play better defensively around the perimeter and shut down these guys to the three-point line. 7-17 from the three-point line in the first half is not that bad of a stat if you're the Purple Raiders.
It's definitely not. And the big thing that really stands out to me from that first half, Mount Union has yet to attempt a free throw on the night. The Muskies have made all 4 of them. But to not shoot a single free throw for a team like Mount Union, That tells me that they're really putting their focus on the outside where you're not going to see a lot of foul calls being made.
Yeah, I mean, that's also probably credit to Josh Keys, who's, the big guy in the paint, averaging 2.5 blocks per game. So you probably have to give him credit for them not going into the free throws in the first half. That's very rare in a college basketball game. So I bet in the locker room, the coach is probably telling them, they need to get to the free throw line and drive in the paint and try to get a lot of these Muskingum Muskies in foul trouble, because that's probably going to be a key game, because you can't rely too much on three-point shooting if you're the Purple Raiders.
You definitely can't. And I like that you said that the Purple Raiders are going to try to get trouble, because at this point in time, it seems like that's going to be the only thing that's going to stop Josh Keys from affecting the game in the middle. He's already got 1 block here tonight, 3 rebounds on the night, 2 on the defensive end, 1 on offense. Has only scored 4 points, but he's been doing a good job of moving the ball from the low post, getting it to some open shooters on the outside. So if you can take Keys out of the game and make him a non-factor, things a little bit different for Mount Union on the other end.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot different. You're taking out one of the best rebounders, one of the best players for these Muskies and in the OAC. So if they get Josh Keys, out of rhythm, I mean, it's going to be a hard night for the Muskies, get, offensive possessions. And also Jarrell Marsh has been shut down tonight as well. So Marcus Dempsey has stepped up a lot, as we talked about earlier in that. One guy that stood out to me in the first half was Devon Pert, coming off the bench, showing a lot of energy, driving to the basket, getting some easy layups. So I like his energy coming off the bench. So hopefully the bench players, how we talked about early in the game, can step up, because it's going to be an interesting second half, very fun second half. So those bench guys have to make a huge impact in that second half.
They definitely do, and we haven't them playing early on. Mostly been seeing a lot of Pert, a lot of Josh Glass, a little bit of Rob Heisey and Andrew Robinson mixed in, but that's about it. Coach Schwab definitely keeping things tight to the vest once again here tonight, making sure that he's getting his best guys out there at any given time. So maybe that'll be a factor late in the game for the Muskies, getting some tired legs out there. But on the flip side for Mount Union, we've seen kind of the same thing. They haven't played a whole lot of guys off the bench either, so that's going to make things really interesting in the second half as this game continues to roll along. But with that, we're going to go ahead and send it back to the studio for another break. But when we come back, we'll get you set for second half action. Muskies down 2 at the halftime break.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
The Forum. We're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant. Because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
It's Muskie men's basketball here on the Orbit Media Sports Network as they come into the second half of action down 2 points, 41-39 against the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders. Once again, I'm Chris Morgan, joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott and down on the sideline by Andrew Dunlap as the Purple Raiders will get the ball first in the second half of action. And bringing it back and spotting up for three is Friga for the Purple Raiders. No good on that one. Rebound goes to the Muskies, and Marcus Dempsey will bring it back up. Dempsey, who had the big first half, had 17 points to lead all scorers in that first half for the Muskies, looking to get involved here once again in the second half. But for right now, it's Jarrell Marsh with the ball in the left wing. He's going to drive into the lane, goes off the glass rim, no good, and the rebound is going to be rolled around and eventually picked up by Josh Keys. Now kicking it back out and spotting up for a long three is Jalen Page. No good, and the rebound will go to Friga. Mount Union going back the other way. De'Allen Jackson, the third leading scorer in the OAC, takes the ball and kicks it back out to his man in the right corner, and that's a make over there for Bauer Malone. And that one's going to get the lead back out to 4 points, 43-39 in favor of the Purple Raiders. Ricky Wilson with the ball on the left elbow, gives it over to Keys. Keys hands it off to Page in the left wing. Now Page is going to take it over to the left corner, kicks it back out to Dempsey, left wing. Dempsey sizing up his man, spotting up from the free throw line, and that one's good. 19 points on the night for Marcus Dempsey. Gets the Muskies back within two, 43-41, 18:30 remaining in the ball game. Bauer Malone brings the ball back up for Mount Union on offense, gives it back over, and now he gets it right back. Gets it over in the left wing, now over to Mason. Mason drives into the lane, kicks it out to Bauer Malone, who spots out for three, and no good. Rebound goes to Marsh. He goes back the other way for the Muskies in transition. Now slowing up a little bit and giving it over to Dempsey, swinging around, and now Ricky Wilson from the corner, no good. He's going to move around and get his own rebound, but the ball will go out of bounds as he tried to save it, and it will go back over to the Purple Raiders. Last touched by Ricky Wilson, and now we'll see Francisoni set to inbound to Bauer Malone. Once again, if you're joining us on the radio voice of Muskingum University, WMCO, don't forget you can check out tonight's ball game as well on the Orbit Media TV network, on Orbit Media TV, the YouTube live stream, and on New Concord's cable channel 9. As to Alan Jackson spots up for three, is short off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Page for the Muskies, going back the other way. 43-41, Purple Raiders lead. As Marsh has it left wing for the Muskies. He's going to drive into the lane, pushes off, and that's going to be a foul on the floor on Marsh. Stuck the arm out a little too far on that one, and he will give the ball back to the Purple Raiders. His first personal foul, team first in foul trouble, was not an issue for the Fighting Muskies in the first half, as they were able to stay out of it with only 3 team fouls in that first period. As Bauer Malone brings it back up. He's got it left wing, going to try to take on his man, and now gives it over to Jackson. Jackson goes off the rim, no good. Rebound kicked out, and will eventually be taken in by Wilson. Wilson going to be possession arrow in favor of the Muskies, and they will get the ball back off the turnover. Great hustle by Ricky Wilson on that one.
Yes, great hustle by Ricky Wilson. We love seeing that from your senior, getting that loose ball, and Muskies will retain the possession.
Jalen Page will get the inbound for the Muskies. He's got it right wing. Now we'll see a ball effect. That one's going to go against Mason for the Purple Raiders. His first personal foul, team first in the second half. And now Page will inbound from the baseline with a fresh shot clock. Page looking to get the ball in, gives it over to Keys, now gets it right back in the right corner. He goes over to Dempsey, right wing. Dempsey sizing up his man, getting by Friga, goes off the glass, no good, but he will draw another foul. As Marcus Dempsey get into the lane and try to draw the contact. He's had a couple of and one opportunities because of that. Wasn't able to convert this time around, so he'll go to the charity stripe for 2 shots. First attempt from Dempsey is nothing but net and good. Gets the Muskies back within 1 point, 43-42, off of his 20th point of the night. Muskies right now. Second attempt, rattles around the rim and is also good. His 21st point ties this one up at 43 points apiece. Just under 17 minutes to go in the ball game, as Jackson's going to bring the ball up for Mount Union. He'll go over to Friga, now to Francisoni. Francisoni goes back over to Jackson in the right wing, now back over to Friga. Friga looking for an outlet, gives it over to Bauer Malone. Bauer Malone over to Jackson, right wing, goes into the lane and blocked from behind by Jarrell Marsh. Muskies get the ball back offensively. Great defensive hustle by Marsh, getting back off of being juked out of his shoes, and he comes up with the big block to give the Muskies the ball back. Now Dempsey with the ball, spots up from the right corner, and that one's no good. Rebound will go to Jackson. He'll hustle back the other way in transition, trying to go 1-on-4 right now, and he's ball slid off the rim. Rebound will go to Josh Keys for the Fighting Muskies. Muskies got lucky as Jackson was able to find his way through 4 different defenders. Dempsey with the ball for the Muskies, gets a double screen, now goes back over. Ball tipped out of bounds by Bauer Malone as he tried to go to Marsh in the left corner. Goes out of bounds, and for the Purple Raiders, looks like that's going to be Foreman and Bryce Matthey checking in. No subs for the Muskies as they inbound with 14 seconds on the shot clock. Marsh with the ball, right wing for the Muskies. All tied up at 43 points apiece. Gets a screen from Keys. Keys goes into the lane, kicks it back out to Dempsey. Dempsey with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Page gets it up just before the shot clock expires. Rattles around the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Foreman. 43-43 all with just about 45 remaining in the contest. Foreman spots up for 3 from the left wing, no good. Rebound goes to Jackson. Jackson backing down his man, and he's going to be fouled on the play. Shot does not go in, but he will go to the free throw line, and now Jarrell Marsh is getting a little heated as he's got some words for De'Allen Jackson, as he thought he was getting a little too physical down there. And now Coach Schwab is going to make the move to get Josh Glass into the game, likely coming in for Marsh to let him cool off a little bit. Jackson getting back to the free throw line for his first attempt of the night. No free throws attempted. This is the first one by Mount Union in the ball game, and it rattles out and no good. Couple of subs coming in for the Muskies now as Glass comes in for Marsh, and Pert is going to come in for Jalen Page.
Let's hope Pert brings that same energy that he brought in the first half.
The Muskies are going to need that energy here in the second half. as Jackson puts the second shot up and he splits the pair. Now 1 for 1 on the night are the Purple Raiders from the free throw line as they take a 1-point lead once again with 15:33 remaining in the ball game. 44-43 over the Fighting Muskies. Hurt brings the ball up for the Muskies into the front court, looking to set up the play and take his time, gives it over to Glass left wing. Glass looking for an outlet, now taking the ball and gives it over to Dempsey. Dempsey takes a spot, now back over to the corner to Glass. Keys with the ball down low, has it taken away, back out to Glass, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Back down to Ricky Wilson, low elbow, gives it over to Dempsey. Dempsey bobbles the ball, has it right wing, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Step back three, and that one's good! Marcus Dempsey can't miss tonight as he has 24 points in the ball game to pace the Muskies, and they have a 2-point lead, 46-44, with just under 15 minutes remaining in the game. De'Allen Jackson goes down low to Matthew. He tries to get the running jumper to go. No good, but he will draw the foul down low. That one will be the third team foul on the Muskies in the second half. First personal on Josh Glass. That will send Matthew to the free throw line. Attempts from Mount Union in the first half. We will see them on back-to-back possessions as now Matthew gets set. First attempt is off the rim, no good. Score stays right where it is, 46-44, Muskies lead.
Coach of the line probably sent the message, guys got to get to that free throw line, got to attack the basket, and they are attacking the basket in this second half.
Matthews getting set for the second attempt. That one's good, splitting the pair once again. 2 for 4 now are the Purple Raiders. 1 for 1 is Matthew as the game is back to a 1-point deficit for Mount Union. 46-45, Muskies lead. Pert with the ball, trying to find an outlet. Goes over to Glass, right wing. Glass with the ball, goes over to Ricky Wilson, right corner. Wilson trying to find Pert on the elbow. Pert goes pump fake, and now he will be called for a travel. Didn't think he traveled initially, but he's not going to contest it. Just takes his lumps and goes back the other way as Mount Union gets the ball back, trailing by 1 at 46-45 as Jackson brings the ball up. Jackson, right wing, looks like he's going to try to go baseline, kicks it out, and it's stolen by Marcus Dempsey. Now getting involved on the defensive end is the freshman, and he will bring it up, trying to get the ball back, going to Glass, left wing. Now back over to Dempsey. Dempsey at the high left point, back to Glass on the left wing. Glass drives into the lane, goes off the glass, and no good. Rebound by Keys. Keys with the putback, and that one's good. Muskies lead by 3 points now, 48-45. Pert's going to take the ball away from Jackson with the full court press. Good move trying to get the ball as Francis Sony is going to bring the ball up for Mount Union. Now Danger, now back over to Foreman. Foreman up top, going to be guarded by Dempsey. He gives it back over to Jackson. Jackson ran into his own man, tries to go down to Matthews, and Matthews is blocked, and that one's going to be going back over to the Muskies on the rebound by Pert. Pert brings the ball up into the front court. He's going to drive into the lane, and that one's good, but they're going to say the foul occurred on the floor, so that will not be a stripe. Continuation not a factor in college hoops. So the officials making the correct call there, as that will be the first personal foul against Matthew. Third team foul for Mount Union, and Pert will inbound, going to Keys way up top. Keys gives it over to Dempsey, and he'll reset at the high right point. Dempsey gives it over to Glass, left wing. Now he's going to drive past his man, gets into the lane, and that's a blocking call. That one's going to be a shooting foul, and it will send Josh Glass to the charity stripe for 2. That will be the second personal foul on Matthew, getting back-to-back fouls here. Fourth team foul for Mount Union. Josh Glass goes to the line for his first attempt of the evening. First attempt, Muskies lead is out to 4 points now, 49-45. 13:22 remaining in the contest as Glass gets set for his second attempt. That one's also good, a 5-point lead now for the Muskies, 50-45. Remember the last time these two met up in Alliance, it was another close one as the Purple Raiders came away with an 85-82 victory at home. Favor tonight as Stinger's going to spot up on the turnaround jumper from the free throw line, and he makes that one, and we'll see a timeout being taken by Mount Union. Now down by 3, 50-47. As they take a timeout, we will take one right with them. We will be right back with more second half action here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. Muskies up by 3, 50-47.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink. or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
Welcome back to the ANC Steel Center, where the Fighting Muskie men's basketball team finds themselves up 3 points, 50-47 over Mount Union here in an OAC men's basketball matchup, as Josh Glass is going to draw another foul for the Fighting Muskies, and he will go back to the charity stripe looking to add on to this lead. The 5th team foul now for Mount Union, the 3rd personal foul against Tommy Stranger.
Great effort by both Josh Glass and Josh Keys. Keep those offensive rebounds coming, and Josh Glass making his first free throw.
First attempt from Glass is good, so that makes the score 51-47 in favor of the Fighting Muskies. Glass's second attempt is up, and that one rims out, no good. Rebound goes to Stranger for Mount Union. Score stays right where it is, 51-47. Muskies lead by 4 with 12:40 remaining in the second half. Stranger with the ball, gives it over to Matthew. Matthew hands it off to Jackson, right wing. Jackson going to be guarded by Pert. Now he's going to drive into the lane, kicks it out, and that one's tipped away by Marcus Dempsey. Great active hands by the freshman defensively tonight, as he has come away with a couple of steals on that end and has really made things difficult for Mount Union in the second half.
3 steals to be exact, so Marcus Dempsey having great defensive effort.
Inbound is completed by Mount Union with 7 seconds on the shot. Taken away, and eventually coming back up with it, and a foul being assessed on the floor as Josh Keys couldn't quite corral the rebound. And that will be a new shot clock coming for Mount Union as they will inbound from the baseline. Second personal foul for Keys, team 4th in the second half, as Jarrell Marsh is going to check back in. Ricky Wilson goes back to the bench. All lineup here for the Muskies with 4 guards plus Josh Keys out there. Inbound is completed for the Purple Raiders over to Stranger. Now down low to Matthew. Matthew from the right block, no good. Rebound goes over to Keys, and he's going to be fouled. Getting a little too physical over there, trying to get the ball back from Keys. Foul on Mount Union, 1 away from putting the Muskies in the bonus. As we'll see a sub come in for Mount Union, as it looks like Bauer Malone is going to check back in as Alan Jackson goes back to the bench. We'll also see Mason come back in as Matthew goes back to the bench as well. Has it in the left wing. He'll get a screen from Keys. Dempsey spinning back around, trying to drive into the baseline. Gives it back to Keys, now back over to the left wing to Pert. Pert drives into the lane, goes off the glass, no good. Rebound is going to be tipped around, and we're going to see a foul assessed on the play. Looks like this one's going to go against Mason for the Purple Raiders. 7th team foul for Mount Union, and it will send Josh Keys to the free throw line.
Muskies shooting free throws the rest of the way on every foul, so Muskies able to get the Purple Raiders into early foul trouble.
This will be the front end of a 1-and-1 here for Josh Keys. Has to make the first shot and to be able to attempt the second one. First attempt from Keys is off. Rebounded by Mount Union. An empty trip there for Josh Keys on that one, as Bauer Malone is going to bring it up. Muskies lead by 4, 51-47, with 11:45 remaining in the game. Bauer Malone gives it over to Francisoni. He's got it in the right wing, going to be guarded by Dempsey. He'll go back over to Stranger. Stranger goes back over to Bauer Malone. Now Stranger has it back in the right wing, and he's going to put up the floater. Unable to get there for the block is Jarrell Marsh, as we're back to a 2-point game, 51-49. Muskies lead, as Jalen Page, who just checked back into the ball game, brings the ball up for the Muskies. He gives it over to Marsh on the left wing. Still a small ball lineup out there for the Muskies, as Marsh spots up for 3, and that one's good. Jarrell Marsh with his 7th point of the night. Muskies back out 54-49 with a 5-point lead once again over the Purple Raiders. Francisoni with the ball in the right wing, goes over to Foreman. Now back over to Bauer Malone. Bauer Malone left wing, driving into the lane. He's going to give it over and tipped away by Keys. Keys trying to come up with it and is rolling around on the ground. Taken, and a travel now being called against Bauer Malone. took the ball from one end and brought the ball over without dribbling it. Something you can't do while you're on the ground, so a good call being made by the official there to give the ball back to the Muskies on the turnover. Now Page will bring the ball back up for the Muskies, leading by 5 points, 54-49, as Ricky Wilson's going to get set to check back in. 10:30 remaining in the ball game. Almost to the halfway point of the second half, as Keys is going to give it out to Dempsey on the right wing. Dempsey sizing up his man. Looks like he's going to try to go baseline. Has the ball tipped away and sent out of bounds off of Dempsey. Great awareness by Mason on that play for the Purple Raiders to send the ball off of Marcus Dempsey and out of bounds. And they will get the ball back as Dempsey is going to go to the bench for Ricky Wilson to check back in. Bauer Malone has the ball for the Purple Raiders. No to Allen Jackson on the floor right now for Mount Union, as Bauer Malone's going to bring it over to the right wing, getting a screen from Mason. He's got it up top, goes over to Francisoni, now over to Foreman. Foreman with the ball over on the right wing, now goes left wing over to Bauer Malone. Bauer Malone going to be taken on by Keys, gets into the lane, gives it back out to Foreman. Foreman, left wing, trying to drive into the lane. Gives it back out to Bauer Malone. Bauer Malone for three, and that one's no good. Rebound goes over to Josh Glass for the Fighting Muskies, and he will send it up to Jalen Page to bring it into the front court. Page with the ball, left wing. He'll be guarded by Strenger. Gets a screen from Keys. Ball taken and away momentarily. Now back over to Page. Page gives it over to Marsh. Now over to Glass, right corner. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Glass with the ball, gives it over to the cutting Marsh, and Marsh trying to slam it home, gets blocked by Mason on the play, and now going the other way are the Purple Raiders. Francisoni with the ball. He's going to drive into the lane, gets to the rim, and good! Down to a 3-point game, 54-51 with 9:19 remaining in the contest.
Josh Keys had the layup on that layup because he's got 2 fouls. He's trying to do more bad fouls the rest of this game.
Page with the ball, gives it over to Keys on the right elbow. Keys driving into the lane, kicks it back out to Page in the left corner. 14 seconds on the shot clock as Page is going to try to go back down low on the left block to Keys. Keys back out to Glass. Glass drives into the lane, and we'll see a travel being called on that one. Glass thought he was fouled before the travel, and it will be a turnover going back over to the Purple Raiders, as we'll see Rob Heisey check back into the ball game. Josh Keys goes to the bench to get a little bit of a break. And we will also see Matthew check back in for the Purple Raiders, and we will also have a timeout on the floor. While they take a timeout, we will take one right with them, and we will be right back here on the Huskies up 55-51 over the Purple Raiders, 8:53 remaining in the contest.
The Forum. We're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. With great prices, great food, and a great environment, we're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant. Because life was meant to be enjoyed.
Welcome back to the NC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University. With 8:37 remaining in the ball game, the Fighting Muskie men's basketball team holds a 3-point lead over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders, 54-51, as both teams battle it out for 4th place in the Ohio Athletic Conference. By Joe Scott in the broadcast booth, and down on the sideline with Andrew Dunlap, a long 3-point attempt by Tommy Strenger finds a way in, and we have a tie ball game after the 3-point make, 54-54, as Marcus Dempsey, who has had the hot hand for the Muskies, has 24 points, brings it up for the Muskies. Now Jarrell Marsh with the ball. He's going to hand it over to Ricky Wilson up top. Wilson gets into the lane, trying to give it back over to Rob Heisey. Heisey backing down his man, gives it over to Page. Page into the lane, back to Heisey. Heisey on the low block, no good on that one, and that's going to be rebounded by Strenger, going back the other way for the Purple Raiders. Strenger with the ball in the right wing, gives it over to Mason. Mason for a long 3, and that one's good. Mount Union asserting themselves from 3-point range coming out of the time 7:54 as they reclaim the lead with 7:45 remaining in the contest. Looks like Coach Schwab has had enough of Rob Heisey out there as he's going to bring Josh Keys right back into the ball game at the next opportunity. Now back going the other way is Marcus Dempsey. Dempsey with a floater, no good, rebounded by Marsh. Now back out to Page. Page for three from the corner, and it's all tied up once again. Jalen Page with his first make of the night, and a big one, all tied up at 57 points apiece with 7 minutes remaining in the contest. Bauer Malone with the ball, left wing, now trying to go down low to Matthews. Blocked by Jarrell Marsh at the rim. Should have been a pushing off foul against Matthews off of Jalen Page. Going back, and now an and one opportunity coming for Matthew as he's going to get the bank to go, and drawing the foul on Ricky Wilson. That'll be the 5th team foul for the Fighting Muskies, 2nd personal for Ricky Wilson, but I want to go back to the original no call on Matthew. Clearly pushed off of Jalen Page to get open on the low block, and nothing was called.
Nothing was called. He got away with the push off, and now he's going to the line for an and one opportunity. Refs missed one.
Matthew is going to convert the and one opportunity, gets it back to a 3-point game, 60-57, and now we're going to see Devon Pert check in for Jalen Page, getting a little more size out there at the point guard position so the Muskies can switch off defensively. That was the 10th point of the night for Matthew. We also saw DeAllen Jackson check in after that timeout. Now with the ball for the Muskies is Jarrell Marsh in the left wing. He'll be guarded by Friga. He's going to get a screen now from Josh Keys. Drives into the lane and with the dunk! Jarrell Marsh getting the fans right back in it as the Muskies are back within one, 60-59. Jarrell Marsh approaching double figures on the night. Bauer Malone into the lane, and he's going to be fouled, this time once again by Ricky Wilson. That'll be the 6th team foul for the Muskies, the 3rd personal for Wilson, and now he's getting himself into a little bit of foul trouble. So we'll see Josh Glass come right back into the game for the Fighting Muskies.
Ricky Wilson was his 3rd personal foul, so yeah, bringing in Josh Glass with the early foul.
Bauer Malone's first free throw attempt is good, as we will see the substitution coming in for the Muskies. 61-59 now is the Muskies deficit with 6:35 remaining in the contest, pending the 2nd free throw attempt from Bauer Malone. 2nd free throw attempt is up and good. So the game is now set for the Muskies, 62-59, 6.5 minutes left to play. Devon Pert brings the ball up for the Muskies offensively, brings it into the front court, gives it over to Jarrell Marsh, left wing. Marsh gets a screen from Keys, now stepping back out and back, and that's going to be taken away by Jackson. He'll go the other way defensively, and that's going to be a foul being assessed on Marcus Page. That one will be the 7th team foul for the Muskies, and that will put the Purple Raiders in the bonus as Jackson now goes to the free throw line for the front end of a 1-and-1.
Yeah, it was a foul, but Marcus Dempsey prevented an easy fast break opportunity for the Purple Raiders, so he made a good smart foul right there.
Jackson getting set for his first attempt. He's 1 for 1 so far on the night. First attempt is good, now for 3, as the Muskies trail now by 4 points, 63-59. Off of Jackson's 11th point of the night. Second attempt from Jackson is up, and that one's also good. As we'll see a sub coming back in for the Purple Raiders as Mason comes in and Matthew goes back over to the bench. 5-point game now back in favor of 64-59 with 6:18 remaining in the ball game as Devon Pert's going to bring the ball up for the Muskies. He'll slow things down as he brings it into the front court, now trying to get it over to Glass on the left wing. Glass has it, goes over to Keys up top. Keys with the ball now trying to find an opening. Has nowhere to go with it before he goes over to Pert. Pert with the ball left wing, and he's going to try to take his man one-on-one. Goes into the lane, and that one's... And now Pert's going to have a couple of words over there as he thought Bauer Malone stuck his leg out to try to trip him at the end of that one. Thought he was trying to pull a little bit of a Grayson Allen on that one, but the official's not calling anything, but it will still be a foul, and it will send Devon Pert to the line for the front end of a 1-1.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, tripping is not allowed in college basketball.
Sure why the official didn't quite see that one, but the first attempt from Devon Pert is good, gets it back to a 4-point game, 64-60. We'll see Jarrell Marsh go back to the bench for the Muskies as Ricky Wilson checks back in. Not quite the game offensively for Jarrell Marsh as he has yet to hit double figures in this contest. Second attempt from Pert is also good. Now back to a 3-point, 4:61, just under 6 minutes left to play. Bauer Malone brings it up for the Purple Raiders. He'll be guarded by Marcus Dempsey. He's got it in the left wing. Now he's going to get a screen from Mason, goes over the top. Now driving into the lane, pushed up a little bit. Fans didn't like that one too much. Now Strenger's got it, driving into the lane, and he'll take it to the rack. No good. Rebound goes over to Josh Glass for the Muskies, going back the other way, only down by 3 points now on this possession. Glass gives it over to Pert in the front court. He's got it at the high left point. Now gives it over to Dempsey, right wing. Dempsey going to try to get there and loses the ball momentarily. Was tipped, the officials say. The assistant coach for the Purple Raiders thought it was an over and back. Didn't think that the Raiders tipped it. Now down low and blocked, but a foul being called on Strenger. Josh Glass getting back to the charity stripe now as he will go back for 2 more shots. That will be the 9th team foul on the Purple Raiders, and that should put the Muskies in the double bonus.
And that's the 4th foul on Tommy Strenger.
So as a result, we're going to see Francisoni get set to check back in, and we'll likely see Strenger go to the bench as he's trying to plead his case with the official, trying to figure out what he did wrong. First attempt for Josh Glass is good as Francisoni checks back in. Gets it down to a 2-point ball game, 64-62. 5:10 remaining in the ball game as Glass gets set from the charity stripe. Second attempt is off the rim, no good. Almost tipped away by Ricky Wilson, but it'll eventually end up in the hands of Bauer Malone for Mount Union. 2-point ball game still, though, 64-62. Mason with the ball up top. He gives it over to Francisoni. Francisoni back to Mason, now swings back around to Friga on the left wing. Friga trying to go down low, taken away by the Muskies as now Bauer Malone spots up from 19, and that one's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Keys, and he'll give it over to Devon Pert to bring the ball back up offensively. Pert running the offense, trying to get into the lane quickly, now retreats back to the free throw line, giving it over to Dempsey on the right wing. Dempsey trying to drive through his man, and he's really guarded by Bauer Malone, gives it over to Ricky Wilson. Wilson with the ball back over to Dempsey, left corner, going down low now on the left block to Keys. Keys has it taken away momentarily, gets it back over to Dempsey. Dempsey going into the lane with the floating layup off the glass, and good! 26 points now for Marcus Dempsey as he ties this game up at 64 points apiece with 4 minutes remaining in the contest. This one is a barn burner right now, folks, as we will see the Muskies and Purple Raiders go back and forth as layup gets it back to a 2-point Purple Raider lead, 66-64. Pert brings the ball up for the Fighting Muskies into the front court. He'll give it over. No, he'll keep it on the right wing. Trying to give it over to Dempsey, but eventually goes right corner to Wilson. Now back over to Pert, right wing, driving into the lane, trying to find an opening now, gives it back over to Dempsey, left wing. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Dempsey down, going back the other way. Looks like Dempsey's going to take him one-on-one off the glass. No good. Put back by the Muskies is no good. Eventually picked up again by Ricky Wilson. Wilson for a spot-up shot. No good. Rebound goes back to the Muskies. Fans wanted a foul but didn't get one. Muskies getting a 5th chance on this possession, though, trailing by 2, 66-64, and the fans are behind them now with 3 minutes remaining. With the ball, gives it over to Wilson, right wing. Back over to Pert, right corner. Pert, step back jumper, and no good. Rebound going, tipped around, and eventually over to Bauer Malone. Bauer Malone in transition, goes over to Francisoni, and he will be fouled. Marcus Dempsey sending Francisoni to the free throw line to try to earn these 2 points as the Muskies trail 66-64 as Matthew is going to 3:01 remaining in the contest as that was the 3rd personal foul for Marcus Dempsey, 8th team foul for the Muskies. Jalen Page is going to get set to check in as Francisoni misses that one badly. Off the front of the rim, no good. Page will check in for the Muskies for Josh Glass. Now on the floor for the Muskies as Pert will stay out there. Matthew will check in as I believe we're going to see Mason go back to the bench.
And ladies and gentlemen, President Hasler is in the building.
President Hassler is here taking in some Muskie men's basketball action. Second attempt by Francisoni is good, and Mount Union will burn a timeout here. Now with just 3 remaining teams, both of them with 3 timeouts left in this one. As they take a break, we'll take one right with them. Muskies down by 3 points, 67-64, with 3:01 remaining in the contest here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Welcome back to the ANC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University. We've got a tight game here in OAC men's basketball action as the Mount Union Purple Raiders lead the Muskies here in New Concord 67-64 as both teams duke it out looking for the 4th seed in the OAC postseason tournament. Mount Union came into the game owning 4th place in the conference with a 7-7 OAC record, 12-9 overall, and the Muskies were just a half game back of the Purple Raiders, 12-9 overall also, but 6-8 in OAC play, looking to take a half game lead over the Purple Raiders tonight with a victory, but being down 3 with 3 minutes remaining, they're going to have to get some big buckets here quick and continue to play some defense.
Yeah, big buckets indeed. It's coming down the crunch time. Which of your players is going to step up and make a big time play?
Devon Pert brings the ball up for the Muskies. He'll bring it over into the front court now in the left wing. 2 point guards on the floor for the Muskies as Pert and Jalen Page are out there together. Marcus Dempsey has had the hot hand for the Muskies tonight, has 26 points to lead all scorers in the contest. Keys gives it over to Ricky Wilson. Wilson for a long 3. That one's going to get nothing, but Page is going to get the rebound. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Page now for 3 from the left corner. Off the rim, no good. Rebound being kept alive and eventually being picked up by the Muskies. Jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of Muskingum. They will keep possession with a fresh shot clock, and the fans approve of that one. The offensive rebounding effort for the Muskies has been huge the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, great effort by Jalen Page to get those loose balls, and great effort by Ricky Wilson to dive on the floor. Some great effort shown by these Muskies in this last 2.5 minutes.
So Devon Pert will get set to inbound for the Fighting Muskies, down 3, 67-64, with 2:30 remaining in the ball game. Page gets it inbound for the Muskies, gives it over to Dempsey, who gives it over to Pert. Pert going to drive into the lane, almost traveled. The officials didn't call that one. Now going to the cutting Jalen Page as he has to retreat. 18 seconds on the shot clock, still plenty of time. Ricky Wilson with the ball up top, gives it back over to Pert. Pert goes back over to Wilson, left wing, now back to the left corner to Page. And now we're going to see a foul low going against Bryce Matthey for the Purple Raiders, and that will send Josh Keys to the line for the Muskies, looking for 2 big makes at the charity stripe off of the 4th personal foul for Matthey. Josh Keys could get this within a 1-point game if he can convert both of these free throw attempts. First attempt is up and good, down to a 65, 2:09 remaining as Jarrell Marsh is going to check back in. He'll come in for Devon Pert. Now going back to the free throw line is Keys. Second attempt is up and also good. A 1-point game once again, 67-66, and now we'll keep it right here for this one with 2:09 remaining, Joe. What do the Muskies have to do to reclaim the lead and be able to come away with a big-time OAC victory?
Well, to claim the lead, they got to keep moving the ball around, looking for open shots and good shots. You can't take some bad shots, especially in, crunch time like this. You got to make smart plays, smart decisions. You can't stupid pass or a stupid play. So that's what they have to do on the offensive side, at least try to get a lead. On the defensive side, keep the pressure up. Look out for their big shooters, especially Jackson. You got to look out for him in this time like this. So keep the pressure up, and you get to the free throw line. You're going to be on the free throw line. You have to make your free throws.
And it's really no surprise that these two teams are locked in a tight, heated battle in another ball game this season. The first time these two met up was in Alliance back in January. January was a down month for the Muskies. They went on the road and still gave Mount Union. All Raiders only came away with a 3-point win, 85-82. The big difference there, though, for Mount Union, they had their second leading scorer, J.J. Kakura, in that game. They have not had his services here tonight. He was ruled out before the contest even began. And DeAllen Jackson hasn't been that much of a factor. He only has 12 points, but he's been moving the ball. So the Muskies and make sure they play smart here in the last 2 minutes as we get back underway after the timeout. Matthew will stay in the game with his 4 fouls as Friga's going to give it over to Jackson on the right wing. Jackson's going to be guarded by Marsh. He's going to get a screen from Matthew. Now spotting up for a long 3, and that one's good. 4-point game here now for the Purple Raiders. 70-66 with 1:40 left. Muskies definitely still have some time to work with, but that was a big make for Allen Jackson to get his team back out in front. As Page is going to go into the lane. Excuse me, that was Dempsey. Got turned away by the rim, but gets his own rebound. Now with the putback, and that one's good on the fader. Back within a 2-point game, 70-68, 28 points on the ball game now for Marcus Dempsey to lead here tonight. 1:15 remaining, and the Muskies will try to get a big stop defensively here. Jackson with the ball, high right wing, going to be guarded once again by Marsh. Looks like he wants Marsh one-on-one, as he's going to wave everyone away. Now setting up the play. He's going to get a screen on the other side, turns it down, now going back the other way to Matthew. Back into the lane is Allen Jackson, gives it back over, and now a turnaround jumper, no good, nothing on that one, and that will be a shot clock violation.
That's 5 fouls on Matthew. They gave Matthew the over-the-back foul. That's 5 on him.
They did give him the over-the-back, so that's going to be the foul-out foul for Bryce Matthew, and that will send Josh Keys back to the free throw line for a chance to tie this one up. Matthew trying to plead his case with the official, but at this point it doesn't matter, as he's going to have to exit the game with 5 fouls, and that is going to bring Thomas Mason back into the ball game. Mason will make the substitution and come in for Matthew as Keys gets set at the free throw line for the first of 2 shots. First attempt is up and good for Keys. Gets this one back to a 1-point game, 70-69. Second attempt is good, and we are all tied up with 53 seconds remaining.
Clutch
this
free
one,
throws.
this one's going to come down to the final buzzer, and we will see a timeout taken by Mount Union to try to draw up a play with 48.1 remaining. While they take a timeout, we will take one right with them, and we will be right back for the final 48 seconds. You don't want to miss this one, folks. All tied up at 70 here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Welcome back to the ANC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University. With 48.1 seconds remaining, we've got ourselves a tie ball game between Muskie men's basketball and the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders, tied up at 70 points apiece as both of them battle it out for 4th place in the Ohio Athletic Conference. I'm Chris Morgan, joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott and down on the sideline by Andrew Dunlap. And we have got ourselves a barn burner here, folks. This is going to be a very exciting 48 seconds left in this one.
The Purple Raiders are getting the inbounds pass, and I have a good idea of where this ball is going to.
This is definitely going to go to as the inbound is originally going to go to Bauer Malone. Muskie fans are behind the team here as Bauer Malone spots up for 3. Defense forgot about him, and that one's good. Pick and roll defense once again claiming the Muskies on that one as they are down 3 points now, 73-70 with 34 seconds remaining and a timeout being taken by Coach Schwab trying to figure what happened on defense. That has been a play that Mount Union has gone back to time and time again, and they have been able to hit that wide open 3 every single time.
Again, defensive miscommunication. I mean, you can't, just bad defense right there by the Muskies, giving an open 3-pointer to Bauer Malone. You can't do that in time like this. You got 3-pointer, 33 seconds remain. Muskies, it's their time now. At least either get 1 point behind or maybe try to tie this thing up.
Now, Bauer Malone hasn't really been that big of an offensive factor in this season for Mount Union because of the likes of J.J. Kakura. Tonight, he's done a fantastic job of filling in for him as he now has 15, tied for the team lead with Allen Jackson. He's done a really good job of taking his opportunities that the Muskies have given him, and they're going to have to tighten that defense up because Bauer Malone is killing them from beyond the three-point line right now.
And what's impressive is he's a freshman coming in clutch right now for the Purple Raiders. He's made a lot of great shots throughout this game. Just got to have the Muskies. We don't know what they're going to do. I would probably look for Marcus Dempsey, probably driving it, maybe try to get a two-point basket, but you have to make a smart decision if you're the Muskies. You can't make any bad decisions right now.
You definitely cannot make any bad decisions, and right now there's still plenty of time left to get a two and then get a foul back going the other way. You don't have to have the three just yet, but they're going to give the ball to Marcus Dempsey. He's going to try to drive, gives it over to Keys. Now he swings it, Page for a long three, off the rim, no good, rebounded by Wilson. Wilson goes off the glass, no good, and gets his own rebound once again. Back out to Dempsey for a long three. That one's no good, rebound goes to Page. 15 seconds left, Muskies have to hurry. Now Keys for a long three, that one's good!
He got it!
Josh Keys ties up the game at 73-73 with 10.7 remaining. Woo! A timeout on the floor taken by the Fighting Muskies. That will be their last timeout of the game. And at this point of time, Joe, 10.7 left.
Ooh,
you just have to play defense and try to get this one to overtime.
Have to play smart defense right now. You can't make a stupid play. They're also in foul trouble, so you can't, make a stupid foul because it'll send them to the free throw line. So you have to be smart in this situation. But what a clutch shot by Joshua Keys.
Definitely a clutch shot for the senior, playing in his second to last home game as a Muskie. To come away with that big of a three.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness, what a shot.
You don't see Josh Keys spotting up for three very often, but when he does, it definitely gets the fans on their feet.
And they are.
They are on their feet here in the ENC Steel Center, and this is going to be a very key final 10 seconds for the Muskies. Coach Schwab and the assistant coach is telling the Muskies, no fouls. Keep the ball out in front of you. Make them beat you with a good shot. So now we will see a substitution maybe trying to come in for Mount Union. A little bit of confusion over there by the scorer's table. Not quite sure what's going on right now, but the officials are going to let Mason come into the game. And if I'm seeing this correctly, yeah, the Purple Raiders do have the 5 players out on the floor now. We will see Francis Sony getting set to inbound.
Here we go.
Full court press from the Muskies and a timeout. Ooh, definitely a big timeout there.
I thought they were going to call a foul right there on the inbounds, but it was a timeout.
That was my original thought when they first blew the whistle. But while they take a timeout, we'll keep it right here. 10.3 seconds remaining, tied up at 73. 1 timeout remaining for the Fighting Muskies. This is going to be huge, and now the officials are going to put the 10.7 back on the clock because the timeout was originally called before the inbound, so a good decision there, putting .4 back on, and the Purple Raiders cannot advance the ball with that timeout. That's the key. They still have to go the entirety of the court.
Yeah, and since they got 1 timeout left, you gotta, you don't have no timeouts left, so you got to play good defense on the inbounds pass, but you got to make sure not to make a stupid foul because you make a foul, they will go to the free throw line. So you have to be smart right here on this inbounds pass.
At this point, Muskies just trying to play some defense, trying to get to overtime. Like you said, Joe, don't do anything stupid. Make Mount Union beat you with this play right here. You make them beat you. Francis Sony now to inbound, gets it into Jackson. Backing off now is Pert, staying with him momentarily. 5 seconds left in the game. Jackson has it high left point. He'll take it, spots up for 3, and that one's no good. Woo! And the clock will expire. We will go to overtime, tied up at 73 points all game here in the ANC Steel Center. And now the students get some free extra basketball here on a Wednesday night in New Concord.
Wow. Oh, holy goodness. I need to catch my breath real quick, y'all. Oh, my. What a game. What a shot by Joshua Keys, your senior. Now we get more basketball. What a better Wednesday night to be in here in the.
With that, we will take a short break and send it back to the studio. But when we come back, we will have your overtime period. 5 minutes of overtime here in the NC Steel Center coming up. Muskies and Purple Raiders tied at 73.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
We have free basketball coming here in the NC Steel Center as the Muskie men's basketball team goes into an overtime period tied with the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders 73-73 here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. Once again, I'm Chris Moore by Joe Scott, and down on the sideline with Andrew Dunlap as we will have 5 minutes put on the clock and we will have 5 minutes of free basketball here in New Concord. Inbound will be won by Josh Keys, and the Muskies will get the first possession here of this first overtime period. Jalen Page with the ball for the Muskies, goes to Keys on the low left block. He's going to try to back down Mason, goes back out to Page. Page for a long three, and that one's good. Jalen Page opens up the scoring for the Muskies in OT with his second make of the night. Gets the Muskies up by 3, 76-73. 30 seconds have elapsed in the overtime period. That was definitely a travel. The officials missed that one as Mount Union will keep possession after Bauer Malone took 3 steps and now going back over to Bauer Malone, spotting up from the free throw line, and that one's off the rim, no good. And now we're going to see a foul, and looks like that one's going to go against Josh Keys.
Wait. They're giving it. Who are they giving it to?
Looks like they're going to assess it against Keys, even though Mason was trying to go over the back of Keys for the ball.
That was a perfect box out. And the crowd disagrees too, booing. That is a very bad call.
And that will send Mason to the free throw line for 2 shots as both teams remain in the bonus for this overtime period, the double bonus, in fact, for both teams. And Mason will get a chance to get this back within 1.
Yeah, it's a 1-and-1 for Mason.
You are right. It is a 1-and-1. Only 9 team fouls on the Muskies. First attempt from Mason is no good. Rebounded by Jarrell Marsh. Score stays right where it is. 76-73. Muskies lead by 3 points with 4 minutes remaining in overtime. Page brings the ball up for the Muskies. Gives it over to Dempsey. He's got 28 tonight so far. He kicks it out to Ricky Wilson left wing. Now Wilson goes all the way over to right wing. Gives it back over and gets it right back in the right corner. He's going to try to go down low to Keys, looking for an outlet. Now goes back over to right wing to Page. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Back to a cutting Ricky Wilson. Trying to get something. Goes with a floating shot and good! Muskies lead by 5 now, 78-73. 3:45 remaining in the contest. Trying to go back over to Allen Jackson. Jackson kicks it back out. Bauer Malone. Pump fake goes back over to Jackson. Jackson with a long 3, and that one's good. Back to a 2-point ball game, 78-76 to Allen Jackson now with 18 on the night for the Purple Raiders. The third leading scorer in the OAC, trying to do everything he can to keep Mount Union in it. And it's a 70 ball game here with 3 minutes left in overtime. Page gives the ball over to Dempsey over in the high right wing. 13 seconds on the shot clock as Dempsey's going to get a screen from Keys. Keys with a floater, and that one's good.
Great pick and roll action by Dempsey and Keys to get that easy 2-point basket.
Back the other way are the Purple Raiders. The Allen Jackson fighting through the deep at the rim and will fall in. And now we'll see a stoppage of clock here with a timeout being taken by the Purple Raiders. That is the 20th point of the night for Allen Jackson. And while they take a timeout, we will take one right with them. Here in the overtime period, a 2-point ball game, 80-78 in the overtime period. You don't want to miss the rest of this overtime here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Wow.
Welcome back for overtime basketball here in the ANSI Steel Center with 2:50 remaining in the extra period. It's a 2-point lead over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders, 80-78 here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. Muskies about to inbound it here as Ricky Wilson gives it over to Jalen Page. Page will bring the ball up for the Fighting Muskies into the front court. He'll be guarded by Bauer Malone. He goes over to the low elbow. Now back out to Wilson. Wilson into the lane, turnaround jumper, and good! 82-78 is the Muskies lead, up to 4 points now as Ricky Wilson approaches double figures. 2:20 remaining in overtime as Bauer Malone brings it up for the Purple Raiders. Bauer Malone down low for Mason, has the mismatch, and he will be blocked at the rim, but he gets that one to go. Back to a 2-point ball game, 82-80 off of Mason's 5th point of the night. 2 minutes remaining, Muskies up by 2 here in the overtime period, 82-80. Jarrell Marsh with the ball for the Muskies, drives into the lane, goes to the floater, gets the foul, does not get the shot to go though, but Marsh will go to the charity stripe for 2 shots, looking to increase this Muskie lead.
The clutch free throws right now for Jarrell Marsh. He has to hit these.
The Muskies in the double bonus, so they will shoot 2 free throws from here on out in the overtime period. First attempt from Marsh is no good. Too strong, goes off the back of the rim. Still a 2-point ball game, 82-80. If you're going to be able to beat a team like this, you have to make your free throws, and Marsh knows that. As does Coach Schwab as a second attempt. That one's good. As we'll see a sub come in for the Muskies. Devon Pert will check in for Jarrell Marsh. Going back to 2-point guards to get some better defenders out there is Coach Schwab.
It's like a little defense-offense play right now.
Lead with 1:55 remaining in overtime. To Allen Jackson, brings the ball up for the Purple Raiders. He gets a screen from Mason. Over in the right wing, now goes back over to Francisoni. Now over to Stranger. Stranger into the lane, goes off the glass, and no good. Trying to get the putback are the Purple Raiders, and the ball eventually goes out of bounds. Last touch by Ricky Wilson, according to the officials, but it will be a fresh shot clock for the Purple Raiders with 1:41 remaining. Bauer Malone will inbound for Mount Union, looking to get it into Allen Jackson. He gets it into Stranger over on the left elbow. Now he'll go back into the lane, off the glass, no good, and eventually rolls around after the first initial roll around the rim, and it will be back to a 1-point game, 83-82, with 1:25 remaining in the ball game. In the first overtime, I should say, there is the possibility of a second overtime period as Jalen Page sizes up his opponent, gets a screen, now goes into the lane, going all the way back around the perimeter, spotting up for 3. They forgot about him, and Page makes it! Jalen Page with the sneaky 3-point make gets the Muskies back up 86-82 with 1 minute remaining in the ball game. Jackson goes down low, he'll be blocked from behind, and now the ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Muskies. Josh Keys with a huge defensive stop there once again for the Muskies.
Great block by Josh Keys. Big play right there by Josh Keys not to get a foul right there.
57.1 remaining. Bauer Malone will inbound for the right wing. He'll spot up for a long 3, and that one's good. Back to a 1-point game, 53.5 remaining, and now Mount Union will take their last timeout of the ball game, down by 1 point, 86-85. While they take a timeout, we will take one right with them, and we will be right back with more overtime men's basketball action here on the Orbit Media Sports.
The Forum, we're that kind of restaurant.
Want to celebrate after your team's unbelievable victory? We're that kind of restaurant. Hungry after a late night of studying? How about a late night drive-thru? We're that kind of restaurant. Need a place to wind down after a long day? How about a full-service bar? We're that kind of restaurant. Great food and a great environment? We're that kind of restaurant.
The Forum Restaurant, because life was meant to be enjoyed.
86-85, the Muskies holding on to a 1-point overtime lead in today's OAC men's basketball matchup between the Fighting Mount Union Purple Raiders here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. With 53.5 seconds remaining, we will see what exactly the Muskies have up their sleeves to try to increase their lead and try to win this ball game to overtake the Purple Raiders for 4th place in the OAC. Once again, I'm Chris Morgan, joined up in partner in crime, Joe Scott, and down on the sideline by Andrew Dunlap as the Muskies try to come away with a big OAC victory in tonight's contest. Jalen Page will inbound for the Muskies. Full court press coming from Mount Union. Page completes the inbound, and he will get it right back from Ricky Wilson. Now bringing the ball up into the front court to a limit court shot. Page with the ball, high left point, gets a screen from Keys. 15 seconds left on the shot clock, 35 on the game clock. Going down low to Keys, who has the mismatch on Bauer Malone with the floater and one! Ricky Wilson with the emphatic hug from behind of Josh Keys, who has been huge in the time. Now has 17 points on the night and a chance to increase this Muskie lead back out to 4. 88-85 now, pending the extra free throw.
Joshua Keys, Mr. Clutch.
31.2 seconds remaining as the first attempt from Keys is up and no good. Failing to complete the three-point play, 85. 25 seconds remaining, still a shot clock here in this one. To Allen Jackson, almost picked up his dribble, now gives it over to Friga. Now back over to Bauer Malone. Bauer Malone on the free throw line. Going back out and giving it back to Jackson. About a half-second differential between the two. Jackson for a long three. That one finds a way in. With 10 seconds remaining, Muskies do have a timeout, and it looks like Coach Schwab might just take it as he's going to try to take this timeout. Not sure if he can advance the ball, but with 10 seconds remaining, the Muskies are tied once again, 88-88. Muskies are going to have a chance for the final possession. What are you looking for off of this play for the Muskies?
I don't know. I mean, they might look for Marcus Dempsey, who's got the hot hand right now, or you might look at Jarrell Marsh. But you got to get – I'd say you have to take the last shot. Don't give him any time left to at least get a shot off. So try to maybe get it off with maybe 2 seconds left to get maybe a rebound putback opportunity. But you have to have the last shot, because if you make it, you may give them a little too much time left over. So you have to get the last shot.
One thing's for sure, if the Muskies play their cards right, we're either going to see them come away with the game winner on this shot, or we're going to go to double overtime. I'm sure the Muskies right now, they want to just end this thing now. Don't give Mount Union another chance in a second overtime period. Get the win right here and get out of here. Going back to 4th place in the OAC. That's got to be their goal right now. End the game right here.
End it. Student section is on their feet. Everyone else is on their feet. We've got an exciting 10 seconds ahead of us.
The student section has been on their feet the entire overtime period. They've got to be getting tired themselves too. So with 10 seconds remaining, we'll see what kind of a play Coach Schwab has drawn up. Muskies could not advance the ball with the timeout, so they will still have to go the entirety of the court.
Said don't panic. You got 10 seconds to get across half court. You just can't panic and make a bad decision.
Now Mount Union knows that the Muskies only have 10 seconds, so they're going to run the full court press here. Page looking to get the inbound in, gets it to Dempsey. Now with 8 seconds left, move the ball down. Dempsey bringing the ball up. He's going to spot up. Long shot, and off the glass, no good. Rebound goes to the Raiders, and that will do it here for the first overtime period. We will have more free basketball coming. Double OT coming up in the ANSI Steel Center as we will have more basketball trying to determine this one. We will take a short break and send it back to the studio. Time period coming up. Muskies and Raiders tied at 88 after the first overtime.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Authority in East Central Ohio is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270 on your radio dial. Great programming like Mike and Mike, Dan Levitard, Ohio State basketball, Reds baseball, Blue Jackets hockey, select NFL games, and college football and basketball. ESPN Cambridge is also your local sports authority too, featuring local high school sports all year round with some viewable on cable TV 2 in Cambridge or streaming online at yourradioplace.com/YRPTV. Your home for sports is ESPN Cambridge, FM 107.9, AM 1270.
Welcome back to the ANSI Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University, where we have a second overtime period coming in Muskie men's basketball as they find themselves tied at 88 points apiece with Mount Union battling out for fourth place in the Ohio Athletic Conference. Josh Keys will the jump ball, being won by Mason on that one, and now going back the other way offensively is to Allen Jackson. Tied at 88 here in the second overtime period. Jackson's got it. He hit the three-pointer to get us to the overtime period. Coach Schwab wanting a travel over there on the Muskie bench, but didn't get it. Strenger spots up from 19 feet. No good. Rebound goes to Page for the Muskies. Now he'll go back with 4:35 remaining in the second overtime period. Page gets a screen from Keys. Keys hit the big three-pointer to send us to the first overtime period, and he'll hand it off to Ricky Wilson. Wilson, turnaround jumper off the rim, no good, and we will see a foul on the floor. That one's going to go against Josh Keys, and that will send Mason to the free throw line for 2 shots. That's the fourth personal foul for Keys, 1 away from fouling out. I'm sure Coach Schwab does not want that to happen here with a big-time game going on right now. But Mason will go to the free throw line for 2 shots as now Mount Union finds themselves in the double bonus.
The keys, you got to be smart the rest of this game. You can't foul out right now.
So Mason getting set. First attempt and good as Mount Union claims a 1-point lead in double overtime, 89-88. 6th point of the night for Mason. Mason goes back to the line for another shot. Student section is silent right now for the Muskies. Second attempt is also good. Raiders claim a 2-point lead, 90-88 in double overtime as Jalen Page will bring it up for the Muskies offensively. Page going to be guarded by Bauer Malone. He's got the ball right wing, trying to find an opening. Now takes it over to the left wing, hands it off to Marsh. Marsh up top, trying to get past his man, spins around, gives it over to Page. Page with the jab step, looking to get it down low to Keys. Keys, 10 seconds on the shot clock, turnaround jumper, no good. Rebound goes to Allen Jackson. Nothing going that time for Josh Keys as Jackson's going to bring the ball up offensively. He'll give it over to Bauer Malone. 3:50 remaining in double overtime. Bauer Malone goes over to Francisoni. Now back over to Jackson on the left corner. Back over to Mason, now back to Jackson. Jackson spots up for a step back 3, and that one's rimming out, no good. Rebound goes to Page. Good job defensively by the Muskies on the closeout by Jarrell Marsh. Now Dempsey, he leads all scorers with 28 points tonight. He'll bring the ball up. Getting the ball over on the left-hand side, he'll give it over to Wilson, left wing. Wilson goes back over to Dempsey. Dempsey on the left wing, going to be guarded by Stringer. Dempsey trying to find an opening. 10 seconds on the shot clock. He'll get a screen from Keys. Dempsey driving into the baseline, gives it over to Wilson. Wilson for a long 3, and that one's off the rim, no good. Rebound goes to Josh Keys, and they'll get a second chance opportunity. Going back over to Dempsey up top to reset with a fresh shot clock. Dempsey into the lane, goes off the glass, no good, but he draws the foul.
Good drive by Dempsey, using some strength right there. Now he's going to go to the line to shoot some key free throws right now.
Marcus Dempsey's week today has 28 points with a chance to make it 30 with 2 shots coming at the charity stripe right now. And I believe that's going to be the 5th foul on Strenger, so that's going to do it for him. Josh Glass is going to get set to check in for the Muskies, and we will see Friga checking in for Mount Union as Strenger has fouled out. Keys is going, so nothing but guards right now for the Muskies. This is an interesting lineup.
Probably getting Keys some must-needed rest because he's been out the court almost the entire second half. So getting some rest for him. Probably he's going to send him back in here in a probably 20 seconds.
Dempsey makes the first free throw attempt, gets it back to a 1-point game, 90-89. 29 points now for Dempsey. Second attempt is also good, and we are 3:03 remaining in the second overtime period. Dempsey now with 30 points to lead all scorers in tonight's contest. Bauer Malone brings it up for the Purple Raiders. He'll take his time. They're going to set up a nice long play. He's going to get a screen on the left side from Mason. Good switch by the Muskies. Now they've got the mismatch, though, with Mason going against Page. Page doing everything he can to take Mason away. Goes back to Bauer Malone. Bauer Malone off, not get the bucket to go, and he now Bauer Malone will go back to the charity stripe for 2 more.
That's four on Ricky Wilson.
So there's another Muskie in danger of fouling out, and now we'll see Keys checking back in. I believe this one's going to be for Ricky Wilson, as we're going to see Coach Schwab kind of switch between the two with 4 fouls now for each of them. First attempt from Bauer, no good. And excuse me, no, looks like Keys, okay, yeah, he is going to come in for Ricky Wilson. Thought Glass was going to come out at first, but he will stay on as Wilson goes back to the bench.
Bauer Malone at 86% free throw shooter, so shocking hitting the front end of the rim.
Second attempt is good, however, gets it back to a 1-point Purple Raider lead, 91-90, with 2:40 left in the Page brings the ball up for the Muskies, looking to give it over to Dempsey. Now he's going to hold it and give it over to Marsh on the left wing. Marsh with the ball, gets a screen coming from Keys, looking to get it over to Page. Now back down low to Keys. Keys has it on the low block. Ball down on the floor, and jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of the Muskies. So coming away with a break there as Keys lost the handle on the ball down low. Keep possession, down 1. 11 seconds on the shot clock with 2:22 left on the game clock. Page will inbound for the Muskies from the baseline. Going to have to get this play off very quickly. Inbounds it to Dempsey on the left corner. Dempsey goes over to left wing, 8 seconds now. Drives into the lane, easy layup for Dempsey, and he's going to get 32 points now on the night, giving the Muskies another lead, 92, double OT. Bauer Malone brings it back up for the Purple Raiders. He'll be taken on by Page. Going to get a screen on the other side from Mason. Now spotting up for 3 off of the screen. Goes off the front of the rim, no good, but rebounded goes to D'Allen Jackson. He'll retreat all the way back to the high right point. And now we're going to see a stoppage of play, and I believe there's going to be just a little bit of a wet spot. Going to get that wiped up really quick as they stop the clock. Essentially a free timeout for both teams here. A few Purple Raider players went over towards the bench to get a few quick words from their coach, but they will side out from in front of their own bench after the stoppage.
Kind of a smart move by Josh Keys pointing out that wet spot to get a little break right there.
Yeah, especially with how long these guys have been going. Move there from the senior captain for the Muskies as the inbound goes to Bauer Malone, and he'll hand it off to D'Allen Jackson, who goes over to Friga. Friga going to be taken on by Dempsey. Gets a screen, now goes back over to Mason. Mason blocked from behind, but they're going to call the foul on Keys, and that's going to do it for him as that's foul number 5.
That's his 5th.
So now Coach Schwab has a decision to make. Looks like he's going to go back to Ricky Wilson instead of sending in Rob Heisey.
Standing ovation for Josh Keys. Well deserved.
Well deserved indeed. He'll exit with 17 points on the night. A big time performance from the senior captain, Josh Keys. Just couldn't quite hold on at the very end. And so we'll go back to the 5 guards for the Muskies out there as Mason steps back to the charity stripe. 92-91, Muskies lead. First free throw from Mason is good, tying it back up at 92 points apiece.
Mason 66% from the free throw line, so he's probably happy he saw that one go through.
He's already missed a couple here tonight, looking to give the Purple Raiders a 1-point lead with 1:36 remaining in double overtime. Second attempt is also good, and now we'll see a substitution coming in. Looks like it's going to be Jeff Foreman coming in for Mason. Foreman comes in as a 6'2 guard from Menor. So the Purple Raiders countering the 5 guards for the Muskies with 5 guards of their own. Big time small ball coming here with no bigs on the floor whatsoever. Muskies are going to let this one roll as Page is going to pick this one up with 1:35 left right around midcourt. 92-93 is the Muskies deficit. 1 point difference between the two right now. Page hands it off to Marsh on the left wing. He'll be guarded by, looks like that's going to be Foreman. Gave it right back over, and Page comes up big. Goes back, double steal going right back and forth with each other. 7 seconds on the shot clock for the Muskies. Page is going to try to go down low, goes off the rim, and no good. Rebound is going to be picked up by the Purple Raiders. Now going back over to Bauer Malone. 1:02 remaining, and the Muskies are just going to get back on defense, down by 1. Back over to Foreman on the left wing. He's going to get into the lane and will be turned to see a foul being assessed to Josh Glass on the play. Only his 2nd personal foul, but it will send Foreman to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Foreman 64% from the free throw line.
Not the best free throw shooter, so we'll see if he misses one here. First attempt he makes. Gets it back to Raiders 94-92. 53.3 remaining on the clock. Second attempt is off the front of the rim and no good. Rebound goes to glass, still a 2-point ball game. Muskies getting a sigh of relief right there as Dempsey's going to bring the ball up. Dempsey clearing everyone out, looks like he wants to go ISO. Dempsey going to take on Foreman, getting into the lane, goes off the glass, and one! Marcus Dempsey with another huge make. 34 points on the night and now going back to the free throw line for another 3-point play opportunity.
Marcus Dempsey coming up clutch. Going strong to the hoop for an and one opportunity.
Devon Pert checks in for the Muskies as Page gets a rest remaining as Dempsey gets set for the and one shot. All tied up at 94 points apiece. Malik Billingsley getting set to check in. He will check in for Ricky Wilson.
Ricky's got 4 fouls, so they're probably being smart with Ricky and trying to not get that 5th foul.
Good move there, and also because Malik Billingsley, a great on-ball defender, great move there by Coach Travis Schwab with 35 seconds remaining, 95-94. Bringing the ball up is Bauer Malone. He gets a screen, switched over by Glass. Bauer Malone still on the perimeter, gives it over to Jackson, and offensive foul for the moving screen! Muskies will get the ball back with another free throw opportunity. Ricky Wilson's going to check back in. Awkward. Looks like we're going to have a timeout being taken on the floor by the Purple Raiders. And as they take a timeout, we will take one right with them. 25.6 seconds remaining. Muskies up 95-94 with a chance to put up 2 more at the free throw line here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Muskies hold a 1-point lead over the Mount Union Purple Raiders in OAC men's basketball action, 95-94 with 25.6 seconds remaining in the double overtime period. And the Muskies getting set to go back to the free throw line after a moving screen being assessed against Mount Union, looking to increase their lead here and get things going to retake the lead in the OAC for the 4th spot. And the Muskies are not going to go to the free throw line.
It was an offensive foul, so they will not go to the free throw line.
So they will inbound it from in front of the scorer's table. Glass completes it to Jalen Page. At this point, no shot clock, so the Muskies are going to try to avoid being fouled. But the Purple Raiders will foul him anyway after about 6 seconds comes off the clock, and it will send Jalen Page now to the free throw line with 20.3 remaining.
Clutch free throws right now for Jalen Page.
Looks like we'll see the offensive-defensive switch once again with Billingsley coming in with Ricky Wilson nursing 4 fouls. Page misses the first free throw attempt. Can't have that if you're going to finish off a team like the Purple Raiders. As the score stays right where it is, 95-94, Muskies leading by 1. Page gets set for the second attempt. That one's up, and that one's good. Back to a 2-point game. Muskies up 96-94. Muskies are the only team with a timeout remaining as Mount Union took all of theirs here in the second overtime period.
Al's going to get the ball for the Raiders.
Clock is running. 2-point lead for the Muskies. Have to defend the 3-point line. Jackson's going to go into the lane, and he will be fouled on the floor. Tried to go right at Devon Pert, and Pert will be called for the blocking foul. So that will send Jackson to the line for 2 free throws, with Ricky Wilson and Jalen Page getting set to check in for the Muskies.
Jackson 86% from the free throw line.
14.8 seconds remaining. We'll have to see what happens here for Jackson at the charity stripe. Jackson's first attempt is up and good. 1-point ball game, 96-95. Offensive-defensive switch comes back on for the Muskies. Both teams remaining with 5 guards on the floor. The ultimate small ball being played here in the double overtime period with no bigs out on the floor for either team. Second attempt from Jackson is up, and that one's also good. Tied right back up, 96 points apiece, and looks like Coach Schwab is going to take that final timeout to with 14.8 seconds remaining to get the Muskies the win here in double overtime. As they take a break, we'll take another one right with them. And we will be right back with more Muskie men's basketball action. Tied at 96 points apiece. 14.8 seconds remaining in the double overtime period here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic with nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
14.8 seconds remaining in the second overtime period. Muskies and Purple Raiders all knotted up at 96 points apiece. It's to the 4th spot in the Ohio Athletic Conference. Once again, I'm Chris Morgan, joined by Joe Scott in the broadcast booth and Andrew Dunlap on the sideline, as the Muskies will inbound from the baseline with 14.8 left, looking for the game-winning shot to down Mount Union here at home. Inbound almost taken away. Goes off of Jarrell Marsh. What lazy inbound for Jalen Page, and now he's going to give Mount Union a chance with 13.6 remaining after losing the inbound.
Oh, there's your bad mistake.
The thing the Muskies needed to avoid most, as now Francisoni is going to inbound it for Mount Union.
They got no timeouts as well.
Off of Marcus Dempsey, officials conversing. That hit Francisoni before going out of bounds. This should be Muskies' ball.
Nope, refs see it differently. Wow.
So the Raiders will keep it, getting the inbound into Jackson. He'll go to the line, foul, and one. To Alan Jackson with a huge make for the Purple Raiders, making the shot and drawing the foul with a chance to put Mount Union up by 3 points with 11.5 seconds remaining. I'll tell you what, these Muskie fans, they're not agreeing with that foul, that it was out of bounds off the Muskies, because that ball hit Francisoni before touching the out-of-bounds paint.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And the refs made a call again.
To Alan Jackson from the free throw line. Converts the and one opportunity. Muskies down 99-96 with 11.5 seconds left in the ball game.
Go.
This is going to have to be for the tie for the Muskies, and they're going to foul Marcus Dempsey.
That's actually pretty smart. Go to the free throw line, stop the clock, goes and shoots 2 free throws. He makes these, we're going to have to foul the Purple Raiders again.
Fans were arguing for the foul to be in the shooting motion, but being assessed on the floor, continuation not a thing. So Dempsey with a chance to get it within 1. Makes the first free throw. Now if you're sitting there as Marcus Dempsey, do you miss this intentionally, or do you just take your chances?
I'd say I'd make it, and then you just got to take your chances and then go into the free throw line.
99-97, Muskies trail with 7.9 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Schwab was telling him to foul when he makes this. Yep.
Dempsey makes the second free throw attempt. Josh Glass wanted a foul off the ball. Now they're going to inbound it and foul immediately.
Let's see.
And that will send Francisoni to the free throw line.
Francisoni, 69% from the free throw line.
6.9 seconds remaining. Muskies down by 1 point, 99-98. With Francisoni going to the charity stripe.
If he makes both of these, I think the coach is going to make them foul again to send the Muskies back to the free throw line. But if he misses one.
First attempt from Francisoni. Up and good. Almost left it a little too short. Definitely feeling some pressure on this one. 100-98. Muskies trail by 2, pending a Francisoni free throw. 6.9 seconds remaining. Second attempt is up, and that one's also good. 101-98, 6.9 left. Inbound is going to go to Marcus Dempsey.
They're going to let him play. Nope, they're going to foul.
They're going to foul him, and that will send Dempsey back to the line for 2 more shots.
Oh.
Of course, Dempsey makes the running 3 after the foul's committed on the floor. But this is a great strategy here by the Purple Raiders. Don't let the Muskies make a long 3 to try to even this one up.
Yep. Good strategy by the coach of the Purple Raiders. You don't see it a whole lot. Usually just let him play out, but he's using a good strategy right now.
First attempt from Dempsey is good. Gets it back to a 2-point game, 101-99 off of Dempsey's 38th point of the night. 3 seconds exactly remaining. Coach Schwab telling Dempsey, it appears, to make this one.
Yep.
Second attempt is up
he
short. Rebound goes to glass. Muskies tie it up after the rebound and put back by Josh Glass. Inbound, it goes intercepted, and that will do it. Now to a... And are they going to call a travel with 0.2 seconds remaining? What are the officials doing right now? What is going on?
They're thinking they got Josh Glass with a travel when he caught the ball.
The officials still talking things over. We're all tied up at 101. 0.2 seconds remaining. And they are, in fact, going to call a travel on Josh Glass. I don't know what.
Looks like they're going to bring in. Who's that? 21, Cameron Miller, 6'7", to try to put pressure on the inbounder to make it hard.
0.2 seconds left. This is going to have to be a catch and shoot.
Yeah, catch and shoot. So they got Miller in there to just put pressure on him. Oh, no.
That one's tipped up. You're going to call a foul?
No. I thought they did.
Oh, my gosh. The timing of that whistle could not have been any worse for anyone with a vetted interest in this game.
We're going to second overtime, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my gosh.
Third overtime coming up.
I've lost count.
101-101. All tied up once again. Steel Center. We'll take a short break, and we will be right back with more overtime action here on the Orbit Media Sports Network as the Muskies try to upend Mount Union, looking for the 4th overall seed in the Ohio Athletic Conference. We will be right back after this short break.
Sweet chocolate-covered marshmallows. Smooth, delicious pretzels. Divine chocolate treats of all kinds, all handcrafted and available right here in historic Cambridge. Unleash your inner chocoholic. Nothing but chocolate. Located on 731 Wheeling Avenue in Cambridge, Ohio.
Welcome back to the ANC Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University for tonight's OAC men's basketball matchup between the Muskingum University Fighting Muskies and the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders. Here going into our 3rd overtime, tied up at 101-101. I'm Chris Morgan, joined in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott and down on the sideline by Andrew Dunlap. And what a game so far.
Oh, my goodness.
Muskies appeared to be out of it going towards the end of the second overtime, but a miracle make by Josh Glass off of a missed free throw got the game back tied up, and the Muskies will go to a 3rd overtime, winning the jump ball and a foul right immediately by, I believe that's going to be on Bauer Malone, trying to get the ball away from Jalen Page.
That's his 5th.
So now Bauer Malone is fouled out. Looks like we're going to see Mason check back in. No, excuse me, that's Friga coming in for Mount Union. No more Bauer Malone for the Purple Raiders, and that's going to be big for them offensively, as he's been a big major cog in their offense tonight. First free throw from Jalen Page is down and good. Muskies take a lead 102-101 off of Page's 11th point of the night. Second attempt from Page is also good. 103-101, Muskies lead just 3 seconds into triple overtime.
Ooh.
Allen Jackson going to have to play the rest of this game out if the Purple Raiders are going to come away with the victory. He brings the ball up floor for Mount Union, gives it over to Francesoni. Francesoni and a blocking call being assessed on the floor. That's going to send Francesoni back to the free throw line with a chance to tie this one back up, and that's now 4 fouls on Josh Glass.
Josh Glass, 4 fouls. Francesoni again around the 69% free throw line. 2 clutch free throws coming up for him.
2 fouls within the first 15 seconds of triple overtime. As the first free throw is off the front of the rim, no good for Francesoni. Keeps the score right where it is, 103-101. Muskie's got to be ready for a short rebound here, as that's where Francesoni appears that he likes to leave the ball. Second attempt coming for Francesoni, up, off the front of the rim, no good, rebounded by Glass. Score where it is once again, 103-101. Muskies with a 2-point lead, looking to increase it on this possession here. Marcus Dempsey, who has 38 points in the ball game with the ball, gets into the lane, kicks it back out to Jarrell Marsh. Marsh loses the ball trying to get past Foreman, and now he's going to push it up to Jackson. Jackson spotting up for 3, and that one's good. Raiders retake the lead, 104-103. Jarrell Marsh, Muskies can't afford to do here in triple OT, and now they'll bring it back up. Ricky Wilson with the ball, getting it into the elbow, gives it back to Marsh. Marsh for a 3, and that one's good. Muskies reclaim a 2-point lead, 106-104. Jarrell Marsh making up for the lost possession by draining a 3. His 13th point of the night gives the Muskies a 2-point lead back. Just Jackson, turnaround layup, that one's good. And it's tied back up at 106. 3:45 remaining in 3 overtime periods.
Good reverse and body control by Jackson. Make that layup. Good offensive skill.
Josh Glass with the ball for the Muskies. Has to pick up his dribble. Gives it over to Dempsey. Dempsey retreats back to the right wing. Gets a screen from Wilson. Now drives baseline. Dempsey, Cage. Now back to Marsh on the left wing. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Muskies got to go. Marsh off the glass, and that one's no good. Thought he was fouled on that one, but the officials letting him play it out. With 3:15 remaining in the third overtime period, we are all tied up still at 106. Allen Jackson brings the ball up for the Purple Raiders. Looks like Devon Pert is going to get set to check in for the Muskies at the next given opportunity. Spotting up for a step back 3, and that one's good. Jackson now with 36 points on the night, 109-106 in favor of the Purple Raiders with just under 3 minutes remaining in triple OT. Dempsey with the ball for the Muskies, sizing up Francesoni, goes off the glass, layup no good, rebound goes over to Foreman. Going to give it over to Allen Jackson, 2:40 left in the third overtime period. Muskies down by 3, 109-106. 1 timeout remaining for both teams, as Jackson's going to take his time and set up this play. Looks like he wants Marsh one-on-one. Now he's going to get a screen from Mason, trying to set up that pick and roll 3 once again, trying to get by Will. Goes back, loses the ball, with 3 seconds on the shot clock, and Francesoni's going to have to put up a heave, and that's not going to hit the rim. Shot clock violation. Muskies get the ball back, down 3 points, 109-106. 2:12 remaining in the third overtime.
Boy, what a game. Allen Jackson coming in clutch right now for the Purple Raiders, hitting 2 big-time threes.
Page will get the inbound for the Muskies, and he'll bring it up to the front court. 2 minutes remaining in the third overtime. Muskies have to get some points on this possession. Page with the ball goes over to the right wing to Devon Pert. Pert trying to get into the lane. He's blocked by Jackson, gets his own rebound. Now back on the baseline, 11 seconds on the shot clock. Page is going to retreat, and now they're going to have to get something going fast. Page loses the ball momentarily, goes over to Wilson. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Wilson into the lane, and a travel being called on the play. Ball will go back over to the Purple Raiders with 1:44 remaining on the game clock. Muskies down 109-106. Have to get a stop here on this defensive possession. Allen Jackson brings the ball up for the Purple Raiders. He'll be guarded by Pert. Jackson with the ball left wing, goes back up top to Francesoni. Francesoni on over to the right wing to Foreman. Foreman jab step, goes baseline. Easy layup there for Foreman. Muskie defense wasn't ready for it, and now they're up by 5, 111-106. 1:20 remaining in the third overtime. Dempsey with the ball for the Muskies, gets into the lane, blows the layup and can't get it to go. Ball is loose and eventually given over to Friga. Friga's going to take it, and he will hit the floor. A foul being called, and that will send Friga to the line 5 fouls now on Ricky Wilson if they are calling this on the
Yep.
person we think they are.
Yeah, it was on Ricky.
So that will mean Ricky Wilson is fouled out of the ball game, and it will bring Josh Glass back into the game with 4 fouls of his own. Glass hit the rebound make to get the Muskies to triple overtime. Now we'll have to see if he can come up with a big defensive play. Muskies down by 5, 111-106. 109 remaining in the third overtime. For the Purple Raiders. First attempt is up and good. Gets it out to a 6-point game, 112-106. 109 remaining in the contest. Friga's second attempt is also good. 7-point ball game now. Muskies trail 113-106. Gonna have to get some big time makes and string them together here as Marsh brings the ball up for the Muskies. He's got the ball left wing, spins back inside, and he's gonna make the shot and the foul. That's exactly what the Muskies needed that time, as they will send Jarrell Marsh to the free throw line, looking to make this a 4-point game with this make. His second personal foul of the contest. And the N1 attempt is no good from Jarrell Marsh. Muskies free throw shooting doing them in here in the third overtime period. Can't seem to make their shots and keep themselves in it. 113-108 is the score, still a 5-point ball game. 48 seconds remaining to this one out. Possession arrow is in favor of the Purple Raiders right now with Pert guarding Jackson. Jackson's getting the screen, and looks like we're going to see a foul on the floor. Believe this is going to be an illegal screen going against Mason.
They called it on Dempsey.
They did call it on Dempsey. That is his 4th foul now, and it will send Mason back to the free throw line. 113-108, 39.2 seconds remaining, with Mason going back to the charity stripe. First attempt from Mason is no good. Too strong off the back of the rim. Keeps the score right where it is at a 5-point tilt. Raiders will send one lone man, possibly contest for a rebound. Second attempt from Mason is also no good. Rolls off the front of the rim. Score stays right where it is, 113-108. Dempsey brings the ball to the right wing for the Muskies. He'll take on Francisoni, giving it over to Page, back to Glass. Glass pump fake and 3, and off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound goes to the Raiders by Mason, and he will be 6.1 seconds remaining, and that will send him back to the charity stripe.
Some heavy legs out there from the Muskies. Their three-pointers aren't going right now. They're shooting a little short, but it's third overtime. A lot of these guys are tired.
Malik Billingsley will check back in for the Muskies, with Josh Glass going back to the bench. I believe the foul might have been a second. So if that's the case, he will have fouled out as well. Mason back to the free throw line for the Purple Raiders, leading 113-108 with 26 seconds left. First attempt off the front of the rim, and will eventually roll in, getting the friendly shooter's roll on that one. Out to a 6-point ball game, 114-108. Second attempt from Mason is up. That one's also good. A 7-point game once again, 115-108. 26.1 remaining, and we will see Austin Wyand check in for his first action of the ball game. Inbound goes to Jarrell Marsh. Got to get something quick. Marsh for a very long 3. That one's good. 19.4 seconds remaining. Muskies are going to have to foul, but it cannot be Dempsey in this case. 115-111, 4-point game, and Pert's going to be assessed with the foul. That will send to Allen Jackson back to the free throw line. 18.2 seconds remaining. That was the third foul on Pert. A 4-point ball game right now, pending these free throws from Allen Jackson. All the Muskie fans in the building holding their collective breaths right now, hoping for a couple of misses right here. First attempt from Jackson is up. No good.
No good, all right.
Score stays right where it is, 115-111. 18.2 seconds left. Both teams still have their timeout. Second attempt from Jackson. This one's up. This one's good. 5-point ball game, 116-111. Inbound goes to Marsh. He'll pick it up quickly, getting down the floor. He'll spot up for another long, and that one's off the backside of the rim, no good. Giving back to Pert. Pert drives in. Easy layup there, but he made it too hard. No foul being called on that one, and that's probably going to do it at this point, as the Muskies aren't going to be able to foul in time. Marsh is going to be able to get a foul off going against Wyant, but with .9 remaining, that's going to pretty much do it here from the ANC Steel Center with a 5-point ball game, and Wyant's going to the line for 2 more shots.
Valiant effort tonight from both teams. 3 overtime. Everyone is tired. Great effort from both teams tonight.
First attempt from Wyant is no good. Score stays right where it is, 116-111, with .9 seconds left on the game clock. Attempt is good. 6-point game, 117-111, and Marsh is going to let this one roll, pick it up, and a long shot. Clock expires, and the shot is no good. So the Muskies fall in triple overtime, 117-111 over the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders, failing to jump back into the number 4 spot in the OAC. What from both of these teams, and unfortunately, one of them had to lose it.
Yeah, one of them had to lose. It's such an amazing game by both teams. They gave great efforts tonight. They're going to need an ice bath tomorrow for both sides. I mean, it's going to be a rough morning for the Muskies, but great, hard-fought battle by both teams. And you got to give credit to the Purple Raiders for putting up a great effort tonight in the ANC. Great effort. What a game. 3 overtimes. You don't see that a whole lot at this level of college basketball, but a great game, great effort. Such an amazing game to be a part of.
You definitely don't see triple overtime very often. You'll occasionally see 1 overtime, maybe 2, but triple overtime, these 2 teams, they both wanted it very desperately. I do not question the effort for either team, line. And unfortunately for the Muskies, things did not end up going their way. So it's going to end up going back in Mount Union's favor. But for right now, let's go down to Andrew Dunlap on the sideline, who is live with Coach Schwab.
Thanks, guys. Now, Coach, what are some of the things that you take from a loss like this?
I mean, if this were on ESPN, and while we're extremely, extremely disappointed, I'm extremely proud of how our guys fought and competed for what, 3 or 4 overtimes? I lost track.
It was 3.
I'm really, really proud of the guys, and really heartbreaking to lose, but we're going to get better.
All right, thank you. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Andrew. Live with Schwab over on the sideline. Muskies falling in triple overtime, 117-111. Let's send it back to the studio for a short break, but when we come back, we will have your post-game recap here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. We'll be right back after a short break here on for Muskie Men's Basketball, presented by Orbit Media Sports.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the latest antivirus software, and they even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? No, but this place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Welcome back to the ANC Steel Center on the campus of Muskingum University, where the Fighting Muskie men's basketball team falls in triple overtime, 117-111 to the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders. I'm Chris Morgan, joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott, bringing you your post-game report. And Joe, when you really look at this game, you really can't question the effort for either team. One of them had to unfortunately lose, but a great effort all around by two teams that really know each other very well and were fighting for key playoff positioning in the OAC.
I mean, both teams knew how important this game was. I mean, 4th place on the line. You need to be one of those top 4 teams to have home court advantage. Unfortunately, one team had to lose a 3 overtime game. You don't see that a whole lot. It was such an exciting game from both sides. The fans loved it. The student section was getting rowdy. So great game. We got to get Chris some water. So it was such a great game. I know he's going to have a long day tomorrow. His voice is going to be somewhat suspect.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It was a great game by both teams, and we were all excited to be a part of it and to watch it.
And I'll tell you what, when we got word in pregame that J.J. Kakura wasn't going to be playing, you automatically knew that this was going to be a big-time chance for the Muskies to come away with a win. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, but they definitely put their hearts into this one, especially Marcus Dempsey here tonight. Had a game-high 38 points for the Muskies, had a few really good defensive plays, was getting involved, got some free throws, got some steals, going back the other way defensively. He really led this Muskie team tonight, and for a freshman to put up that kind of a performance, that just speaks to the level of play that he's been on, and he is going to be a very big, bright spot for this Muskie team going into the future.
I mean, he's a freshman. He's putting up these kind of numbers, so he has a great future in front of him. It was good to see him play both sides of the ball tonight, just not offensively, but get a I think 4 steals tonight. So great effort by him. Great effort by both teams, and another great effort by Joshua Keys, a senior who sadly had to leave during the game because of that 5th foul, I believe the 2nd overtime. But a great effort by him and great effort by both of those guys tonight.
And I'll tell you what, it was really a 3 game between Dempsey and Keys and even Josh Glass. Keys had the big 3-point make coming out of nowhere to be able to force the first overtime period. Then he fouled out during that first overtime. Then you had guys making big-time shots to force the second overtime period. Allen Jackson hit a big 3 for the Purple Raiders to force second overtime. Muskies feeling the game, getting away from them until Marcus Dempsey gets back to the free throw line, makes his first attempt, unfortunately misses the second one, but then you had Josh Glass right there, got the rebound, the putback shot was good, tied the game back up, and they were able to force the 3rd overtime period. By the time that came around, everyone was getting tired. People were fouling out left and right for the Muskies. They lost Ricky Wilson at one point. They lost Josh Glass late in the 3rd overtime. So when you get guys in that bad of foul trouble late in the game and with everyone being so tired, you kind of expect things to slow down a little bit. And unfortunately for the Muskies, it just slowed down a little bit too much, while Allen Jackson was really able to find his range. It
was the Allen Jackson show in that 3rd overtime, who hit a couple of threes in that period and got to the free throw line to help seal a deal for the Purple Raiders. I believe he finished with 38 points as well, so he was the high point man filling in for J.J. Kokora, his buddy that could not play tonight, so he stepped up huge in an important game for the OAC race.
With that, let's go ahead and send it back break. But when we come back, we will take a look ahead for the Muskies. Another game coming up on Saturday here on the Orbit Media Sports Network.
Your one-stop shop for all things computer-related is ABC Technical Services. Whether it's designing a new website, website maintenance, PC repair, or over-the-phone tech support, ABC Technical Services has you covered. ABC Technical Services can set up a new network, install the even offer full video production and editing services too. Give them a call at 740-432-5605 or visit them online at abctechnicalservices.com. A name you know, a name you trust. ABC Technical Services.
Look at all these televisions. Is this heaven? Have we all died and gone to the sports afterlife? This place is no less holy. A miracle of flat screens and premium sports packages, all in the service of a sports fan's basest desires. So while this isn't the heaven, it is a heaven. And this one serves beer, which is a nice twist.
Buffalo Wild Wings, located in Zanesville and Cambridge.
Visit us at the Crumb and Cup behind the John and Annie Glenn Museum to warm up with a cup of soup and a hot drink, or grab a sandwich and some dessert. Stop in the Crumb and Cup Alley Cafe, where we take pride in making your day.
to the ANSI Steel Center here on the campus of Muskingum University, where Muskie men's basketball falls in triple overtime, 117-111, to the visiting Mount Union Purple Raiders here at home. Once again, I'm Chris Morgan, joined up in the broadcast booth by Joe Scott, bringing you your post-game report. And Joe, when you look ahead for this Muskie team, you obviously would have liked to get an OAC victory here tonight, but you couldn't quite do so. They're for now going to stay in the number 5 spot, falling to 6-9 in OAC play, 12-10 overall on the season. We don't know quite yet what happened with the Capital game tonight. That's going to be one that's going to be a big-time factor for this Muskie team, because if Capital won, that's going to force the Muskies down to the number 6 seed going into the final 3 games of the season. But they're going to get a chance for a very winnable game on Saturday here at home, Senior Day, hosting bottom of the barrel Otterbein.
Yeah, bottom of the barrel Otterbein. It'll be also Senior Day, so it's going to be very important for a couple of seniors on this team. So it's going to be a fun game. Otterbein, bottom of the barrel, but you can never take any of those teams lightly. So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a very important game because then they got Marietta and Heidelberg next week in tough environments.
So it's going to be an uphill climb for the Muskies going into the final week of the regular season. But if they can get a win against Otterbein, they're going to set themselves up in a very good spot. Orbit Media Sports Productions at Muskingum University are made possible in part thanks to contributions from the Office of Academic Affairs, the Arts and Humanities Division, the Theater Department, and the Digital Media Design Program. Our theme music for today's presentation on Orbit TV Channel 9 was composed by David Curley. That's going to do it here for us in the ANSI Steel Center. Once again, Muskies 3 overtimes, 117-111 to 4th place Mount Union, sitting right now in 5th place in the OAC. We're going to send it back to the studio for the final time tonight. Make sure you join us on Saturday for Muskie men's basketball against Otterbein here on the Orbit Media Sports Network. For Andrew Dunlap and Joe Scott, I'm Chris Morgan. Have a great night, New Concord.